das Fucking mit die Symbolen, die ich mache, ist 100% mit Absicht oder absichtlich.
You don't know what I am, what I see in you, yeah.
Hey Leute, ich wollte euch nur kurz vorwarnen, ab Minute 53 werden wir auf Englisch weitersprechen. Bis Minute 53 ist alles auf Deutsch und dann switchen wir zu Englisch. Und wollte euch erinnern, abonniert den Kanal und lasst ein Like da. Das hilft mir zu wissen, dass ich auf dem richtigen Weg bin. Hey guys, I just want to let you know, when you are not a German speaker, we will switch to English at minute 53, so you can enjoy it in English. I hope you like it. Maybe there will be more English-speaking podcasts in the future. I don't know yet exactly, but I really enjoyed the conversation in English as well, and I hope you like it. Enjoy.
Ja.
Es ist toll, dass wir es geschafft haben. Wir wollten uns immer mal wieder treffen,
Ja, das stimmt.
auch zum Fotografieren.
Ja.
Und jetzt haben wir es endlich geschafft, in Berlin zusammenzukommen. Du bist hier gerade auf Tour, oder?
Ja. Ich war eben gerade im Südosten von Berlin, im Köpenicker Hof hieß das. Morgen geht es weiter nach Hannover.
Hannover, oder? Ja,
richtig.
ja.
Knows my dates better than me, shit.
Ja, ich habe es auf Instagram gesehen. Ich habe gestern noch ein bisschen recherchiert natürlich, um mich auf dich einzustellen. Du machst verdammt viele Shows, oder? Du bist extrem viel auf Tour. Ich habe gelesen, du machst über 100 Shows im Jahr.
Ich bin fleißig.
Ja?
Ja, so über 100, meistens so höher als 150 sogar.
Oh wow. Wie kriegst du das hin? 150 Performances im Jahr. Ich meine, das ist ja Höchstleistung letzten Endes.
Es wird von dir erwartet, dass du Party machst und Life of the Party bist und sowas. Aber letztendlich kannst du nicht die kommende, nächste Show spielen, wenn du nicht ein bisschen Schlaf kriegst. Also einen normalen, wenn nicht einen übernormalen Anteil an Schlaf kriegst und auch dich dehnst und dich auch deine Stimme ein bisschen aufwärmst und so weiter und so fort. Man muss, ich meine, man kriegt es ja wahrscheinlich zweimal hin auf eine Tour, dass es überhaupt dazu kommt, dass man mehr als 5 Stunden Schlaf kriegt.
Oh wow, okay, krass. Was bedeutet für dich eigentlich Live-Performance? Weil ich meine, die Musikszene hat sich ja komplett verändert, ne? Seit Spotify und so weiter. Es werden wahrscheinlich nicht mehr so viele Platten gekauft und bei Spotify, soweit ich weiß, verdient man nicht wirklich Geld, davon kann man nicht wirklich leben, es sei denn, man ist in den Millionen Klicks oder so. Ich kann es dir gleich mal erzählen, wie das läuft.
Ja.
Aber Live-Performance ist so das eigentlich wieder zurück zur Live-Performance, ne? Das viele Künstler machen, wo sie auch ihr Geld verdienen und wo sie vielleicht auch letzten Endes ihren Spaß haben. Was bedeutet Live-Performance für dich?
Also, ich werde das jetzt dreiteilig beantworten.
Ja, klar.
A, ich denke, dass Künstler immer ihr Geld gemacht haben von Performances. Das war Merch hat nie wirklich was gebracht, um ehrlich mit dir zu sein. Also ich meine, es bringt einem Feder in dem Sinne, dass Leute deine Musik haben, sich deine Musik anhören können. Das hat jetzt Spotify von uns übernommen, für sehr wenig Geld zurück. Zweitens, ja, ich sehe aber schon eine Zurückkehrung, sagt man das so,
Ja.
eine Retour an Live-Performances auch für größere Künstler. Ich sehe aber auch viele Tours von großen Künstlern, die einfach gecancelt werden, weil nicht genug Tickets verkauft wurden oder sowas.
Ernsthaft?
Das
Okay.
passierte, ich glaube, Beyoncé hatte sogar ein paar Daten in Europa, wo sie das absagen musste. Und so höhere, mittelgroße Künstler vor allem trifft das. Also jetzt nicht die Lady Gagas von der Welt oder die Beyoncés von der Welt, aber die irgendwo zwischen like Instagram Fame and Radio-TV-Fame liegen.
Okay, super krass. Ja, ich meine, diese Ticketpreise sind aber auch absurd geworden, habe ich das Gefühl. Ich meine, es ist heute, im Prinzip kannst du davon eine Woche Urlaub machen oder sowas. Ich habe überlegt, in Argentinien, in Buenos Aires zu Oasis zu gehen bei der neuen Tour und ich glaube, keine Ahnung, die Tickets fingen irgendwo bei $600 an oder sowas und Scheiß-Tickets.
Ja,
Und es war dann auch so, naja, okay, Oasis ist halt auch irgendwie nochmal ein anderes Level und es ist was Besonderes, dass die wieder auf Tour gehen. Aber auf der anderen Seite muss man sich dann schon stark überlegen, ob man dafür nicht lieber Urlaub macht oder irgendwie.
das sieht man nicht in Europa, weil Europa bessere Gesetze rund diese Sorte Dinge hat.
Ach so.
In Europa, also auch bei Beyoncé, die Tickets, ich benutze Beyoncé, weil ich Beyoncé, ja, ich mag sie eigentlich nicht, aber ich würde sie gerne live sehen. Ich will sehen, wie sie ihre Kunst macht live.
Krass, ja.
Genauso wie Lady Gaga und diese große Künstler, ich spiele jetzt überhaupt nicht die gleiche Genre oder sowas, aber das gleiche Genre. Aber irgendwie Künstler zu sehen, die größer als einem sind und zu sehen, wie sie das schaffen und was sie machen und was ihre Techniken sind, um mit das Publikum umzugehen oder die Technik, die rund um ihn steht, mit die Live-Show und die Lichter und die, was weiß ich, Pyrotechnik oder sowas, möchte ich mir schon anschauen.
Ja, als Inspiration praktisch oder als.
Ja, es ist ein bisschen so eine Masterclass.
Ja, ja.
Viel billiger.
Ja, ich ja seit ich in Argentinien bin, unheimlich viel Blues und mir ist The Black Keys ist momentan mein Favorite. Ich kann alles von Black Keys hören. Ich habe jetzt gesehen, dass das auch so ein bisschen dein Einflussbereich ist, ne? The Black Keys, Blues. Was ich in letzter Zeit auch viel höre, ist Cam Cole.
Ja.
Der sagt dir wahrscheinlich auch was.
Ja, ich habe mit ihm getourt in
Du hast mit Cam
2023.
Nein.
Ja, für einen Monat.
Ernsthaft?
Ja.
Alter.
Ja.
Mit Cam Cole, krass.
Ja.
Okay. Ja, auf jeden Fall diese Leute, weißt du, ich weiß nicht, ich bin, glaube ich, eher so ein bisschen. Früher habe ich viel Hip-Hop gehört, viel Kendrick Lamar, viel Kanye. Ich
Ja.
meine, ich höre das immer noch.
Ja.
Aber heute irgendwie, keine Ahnung, das ist echter. Blues zum Beispiel ist für mich, hat was Echteres, es hat was Roheres, es ist nicht so durchdesignt meistens, wie
Ja.
viele dieser Rap Alben oder wie Beyoncé oder wie was anderes. Das ist halt alles eher für die Masse und ich habe das Gefühl, dass sowas wie The Black Keys ist wirklich so für die Seele und nur für echte Zuhörer und nicht für nebenbei im Auto so ganz, weißt du? So,
Ja.
Wenn ich sowas höre, setze ich mich hin und höre das. Ich meine, das mache ich mit mancher Rapmusik auch, aber seltener. Für dich, du hast einen sehr rohen Sound. Du machst hauptsächlich Performances und nimmst da dann auch auf oder bist du viel im Studio?
Nein, also alles, was ich publiziere, wurde im Studio aufgenommen.
Ah, okay.
Aber es sollte auch, wie sagt man das, intentionally scheiße klingen. Oder
Ja.
nicht scheiße, aber es sollte unbearbeitet klingen.
Ja.
Ich möchte eben, dass ich nichts am Publikum vormache oder sowas.
Ja.
Ich füge jetzt nicht, vor allem, ich habe ein riesengroßes Hass für, wie heißt das?
Sag doch Englisch.
Ja, ich komme auch nicht drauf, was die Stimme bearbeitet für Melodie.
Autotune.
Ja.
Ja.
Fuck Autotune. Fuck you, Autotune.
Sehr gut.
Eat a dick.
Eat a dick?
Nein, und das hat auch für mich Künstler versaut, die eigentlich super gut sind, wie T-Pain. Ich hatte gar keine Ahnung, dass T-Pain so gut singen konnte.
Ja.
Und auf einmal macht er so, hey, yeah, und oh shit, he can't sing, what?
Ja. Kommst du eigentlich ursprünglich auch schon so aus dieser, ich habe unheimlich Probleme, Genres auseinanderzuhalten, vor allem im Rock. Im Hip-Hop, ja, ich kann irgendwie Trap von was anderem unterscheiden,
Ja.
aber mir fällt es unheimlich schwer, das zu hören, den Unterschied zu hören. Und deswegen sage ich vor allem bei Rock, ich meine, okay, ich kann jetzt ein bisschen Blues unterscheiden, aber dann sage ich meistens einfach nur Rock. Was sind denn bei dir dann so hattest du so ein Journey, wo du unterschiedliche Musikrichtungen gehört und auch dich inspiriert haben? Kommst du aus einer ganz anderen Richtung vielleicht auch oder war das schon immer so Rock, was so in deinem Herzen?
Es begonnen, würde ich sagen, bei mir wie alle Geschichten in der Kirche. Nein, ein bisschen so. I'm American, so like church is a big Großteil von unserem Leben. Und das heißt ja nicht, dass ich unbedingt so heiß auf der Kirche oder Gott momentan bin. Ich bin Atheist zum tiefsten meiner Seele. Glaube an das Gute in Menschen und an liebevoll sein. Und das reicht mir.
Aber ganz kurz nur nochmal jetzt, ich meine, wir haben gerade über die Musikgenres
Ja.
geredet, aber würdest du dich, also du bist Atheist im Sinne von, du glaubst nicht an einen Gott, theistisch, also Atheist ist ja nicht an einen Gott glauben, aber glaubst du an was Spirituelles oder Energie oder irgendwas?
Nein, überhaupt nicht. Nein. Das ist mir irgendwie auch, es ist mir ein Reassurance zu wissen, dass es, soweit ich weiß, nichts gibt. Irgendwie finde ich das reassuring.
Ah, wirklich?
Ich weiß, dass wenn ich sterbe, kriege ich Ruhe.
Ernst?
Endlich.
Ach, das finde ich interessant. Das finde ich super interessant. Ich denke nur, wenn du sagst, du glaubst an das Gute im Menschen, dann bist du eigentlich schon auf der spirituellen Bahn, letzten Endes.
Ich habe ganz viel mitgemacht. Meine Oma, meine Mutter sind sehr Neo-Protestant Christians. Es gibt zu viele Verschiedenheiten, zu viele Unterscheidungen zwischen die alle und die glauben alle an Jesus, die glauben alle an Gott. Ist schon gut, Leute. Aber ich bin vor allem in ein Baptist-Milieu aufgewachsen. Sprich, Baptists sind sehr charismatisch. Hey, yeah. Diese Sorte Scheiße. Und ich liebe das. Ich liebe das. Wenn es nur nicht für das göttliche Teil des ganzen Ding wäre.
Okay.
Weil das war es eigentlich, was ich geliebt habe. Und es wurde mir irgendwann mal klar, jemand hat mir meine Partnerin sogar hat mir heute ein Reel geschickt. Used to go to church and then I went to a One Direction concert and realized that actually I wasn't feeling God, I was just feeling the music. So ungefähr ging es mir.
Ja, es ist, ich meine, es sind unterschiedliche Worte vielleicht für das Gleiche. Wer weiß. Ich komme da ein bisschen aus einer anderen Richtung. Aber welche Musik hat dich denn dann eigentlich beeinflusst? Also was war das, womit du groß geworden bist? Du hast gerade gesagt Baptist Church.
Also es war
Halleluja.
ganz viel, ja, Spirituals und Gospel-Sorte Dinge, aber dann älteres Gospel. Und dann gab es auch noch Country, also wenn man das so nennen könnte, oder frühes Rock'n'Roll, like Elvis, Johnny Cash. Das waren die Sachen, die mein Vater alles gehört hat. Und dann ging ich ganz hart ab auf R&B, als ich jung war für eine Weile, mit TLC und No, I don't want no scrubs, diese Sorte Dinge. Und dann irgendwann ging es mit New Metal.
Ah, okay.
Und, I'm one step closer to the edge and I'm about to break. Und Linkin Park und Korn.
Ja. Ja, ich muss gerade überlegen, weil ich bin nicht so richtig. Metal war für mich immer irgendwie was Negatives. Das war die Metaler an der Schule oder sowas und nicht die coolen.
Ja.
Aber Linkin Park, ja, Limp Bizkit, ich weiß nicht, ob man das zu New Metal, ich weiß nicht,
Das ist alles New Metal.
das Problem mit den Genres.
Ja.
Habe ich immer mal so reingeschnuppert, aber war dann doch, es war so die Hip-Hop-Rap-Phase so. Und dann kam auch bei mir die Techno und Elektro und House und sowas zum Feiern und keine Ahnung, was mich immer fasziniert hat, ist Musik, die man eigentlich nicht zuordnen kann. Also zum Beispiel, was ich immer unheimlich gern gehört habe, war NERD, The Neptunes, Pharrell Williams Stuff. Ich sage das eigentlich schon immer so, bin kein Fan-Typ
Ja.
Aber wovon ich lange Zeit wirklich gesagt habe, ich bin ein Fan war von Pharrell Williams, weil es immer anders, es hatte immer einen anderen Dreher, es war immer irgendwie besonders.
Ja.
Das hat irgendwann, glaube ich, ein bisschen aufgehört mit Despicable Me und so.
Ja.
Dann wurde das alles ein bisschen more generic.
Ja.
Aber trotzdem, das war und ich kann eine kurze Geschichte erzählen. Wir waren auf der Fashion Week in Berlin, da hatten wir ein Modelabel und mit der Anja, die kennst du, glaube ich, auch. Ja. Und
Du hast doch einen Podcast mit ihr gemacht.
genau, ja. Liebe Grüße. Wir waren auf dieser Fashion Week und wussten an dem einen Tag nicht, was wir machen sollen. Und dann ruft ein Freund an, der sagt, der irgendwie Chauffeurdienst gemacht hat bei der Fashion Week. Über seinen Cousin oder so, der hatte diese Firma. Und dann ruft er an und sagt, hey, ich fahre gerade Pharrell Williams durch die Stadt. An der Bread and Butter. Und wir waren so, was? Ja. Und dann hat er gefragt, wollt ihr heute Abend auf eine Party kommen? Ich kann euch auf die Gästeliste schreiben. Und das war so eine Promi-Party. Und wir waren so, okay, krass. Ja klar, schreib uns auf die Gästeliste. Wir sind hin. Und dann war da die komplette Straße gesperrt. Und wir sind da reingelaufen und wollten halt, ja, hier, wir stehen auf der Gästeliste. Die gucken uns natürlich so an, so, ihr steht auf der Gästeliste. Und dann standen wir aber tatsächlich auf der Gästeliste. Und wir kommen rein, Sarah Connor, Leute von Fantastische Vier, Musik und so weiter. Und dann steht da Pharrell Williams. Ja. Aber immer hinter so einer Absperrung. Und der kam dann mit Bodyguards und der kam immer raus und hat mit Leuten Fotos gemacht und ging wieder zurück. Und da gab es kostenlos Getränke und sowas. Ich habe mich so böse abgeschossen. Wir waren danach, glaube ich, noch auf so einer Eco von dieser Modemarke, auf so einer Eco-Party mit irgendwelchen Fotografen und sowas. Auf jeden Fall, ich gehe aufs Klo auf dieser Party, Palais hieß die.
Okay.
Alle Getränke umsonst, nur Stars. Ich gehe aufs Klo, ich komme zurück und Anja sagt mir, ich habe ein Foto mit Pharrell Williams gemacht, aber der ist jetzt weg. Ich habe sie gehasst. Ich hab sie gehasst. Ja, und naja, jetzt hat sie ein schönes Bild mit Pharrell Williams, wie auch immer, aber das war jetzt so der Abstecher zu Pharrell Williams und Musik bei mir, wie sich das entwickelt hat. Also du hattest auch unglaublich viele unterschiedliche Einflüsse. Wann hast du eigentlich angefangen, Musik zu machen?
Ich habe, ja, schon immer. Es gab auch ganz viele Jazz-Einflüsse, die ich gerade eben mir
Bewusst gemacht hast, oder?
ja, genau, richtig, ja. Von meiner Oma sie hat ganz viel Jazz und so Early Blues gesungen und das hat mich auch ganz viel, like Ella Fitzgerald und Louis Armstrong, Cab Calloway, diese ganze alles was diese, wie sagt man das auf Deutsch, Ära von Musik betrifft, Chef's Kiss, nothing to say.
Ja.
Billie Holiday, das war auch den Namen, den ich sagen wollte. Und deine Frage war,
Welche Musik dich beeinflusst hat, wann du mit Musik angefangen hast einfach?
es fing an, bevor ich tatsächlich Erinnerungen habe, mit Geige. Meine Mutter hat mich durch Geigenklassen gesetzt. Und es war cool, aber dann sind wir von Amerika nach Frankreich umgezogen und da
Wie alt warst du da?
5,5.
Okay, sehr jung.
Und das ging natürlich nicht mehr, ne? Man fliegt ja nicht 2000 Meilen, um Geigenklassen zu nehmen. Und dann fing ich an, in einer von unseren Kirchen Musik zu spielen mit like we call it the praise leader. Das ist nicht der Prediger, aber das ist der Typ, der die Musik macht für alles. Und er war ein sehr hochtrainierter Pianist und Komponist und mit ihm habe ich mir dann durch die ganze Akkorde gesetzt und er war sofort beeindruckt, dass er so was spielen konnte und ich konnte es einfach auf der Gitarre finden.
Oh wow.
Das ist dann, das war mein erstes so Befassen mit Akkorde und Gitarre und sowas. Ich hatte schon ein paar Jahre davor begonnen, aber dann war es, was war das?
Ist da dann
Nirvana oder sowas.
die Leidenschaft und auch sowas erst richtig gekommen, als du dann richtig auch selbst gespielt hast? Also, dass du gesagt hast, okay, das ist nicht nur vorher hast du praktisch Musik viel gehört und
Ja.
so, und du hast auch irgendwie Geigenunterricht, hattest aber anscheinend irgendwie nicht so krass Bock drauf.
Ja,
Und dann aber kam so auch diese Leidenschaft, okay, ich kann das auch machen, ich kann das auch raushauen, ich kann mich damit ausdrücken, oder wie war da der Weg, dass du das so für dich auch entdeckt hast als Leidenschaft?
ich habe schon immer Leidenschaft für Musik gehabt und für Performance Arts in general. Ich mache ja auch Schauspiel und Theater und Mode, also ich bin Model ab und zu und solche Dinge. Und Performance Art finde ich super. Diese Künstler, die sich einfach in ein Museum nackt stellen und diese Sorte Sachen finde ich einfach bewundernswert.
Ja.
Aber als ich dann anfing zu komponieren, war mir dann klar, wie sehr es mir wichtig war. Meine Familiengeschichte und meine eigene Geschichte ist auch ziemlich, sagen wir es einfach, wie es ist, scheiße. Und Musik hat mich durch ganz viele Sachen geholfen, die ich vielleicht, wenn es da nicht gewesen wäre, hätte ich mich vielleicht einfach umgebracht, um ehrlich mit dir zu sein.
Ja.
Es gab auch Poesie, ich habe auch ganz viel geschrieben und sowas, aber Musik und Komponieren war dann, und es war so Singer-Songwriter, Emo-Type Shit am Anfang. Und ja, dann fing ich mit Tastik ungefähr 8 Jahre her. Ich fing als Chris Fallon an. Und das gefiel mir dann nicht. Und dann habe ich es zu Tastik geändert, ungefähr 8 Jahre her. Und das ging dann von da.
Okay, wow. Ja, ich finde es super gut zu hören, dass diese Musik oder dieser Ausdruck dich sozusagen gerettet hat, dass das dieser Ausgleich war.
Ja.
Bei mir war das, ich komme auch aus einer ziemlich schwierigen Familie, und für mich war das erste Sport. Ich habe Leistungssport gemacht, auf höchstem Niveau, würde ich sagen. Und später, als ich dann damit aufgehört habe, waren es Alkohol und Drogen letzten Endes. Und
Ja.
es hat lange gedauert, das auch zu verarbeiten, auch von Alkohol und Drogen loszukommen. Und du hast da praktisch, also ich finde es immer interessant, wenn Leute diesen Rettungsring finden und da drin aufgehen und sich ausdrücken können und eben nicht praktisch den
Scheißweg.
Scheißweg. Aber ich meine, es gehört halt auch dazu, es gehört zu meiner Geschichte.
Ja.
Und ich bin froh, dass es hinter mir liegt. Also da ist auch ein bisschen Stolz oder sowas, dass es hinter mir liegt. Und bei mir war das auch mit viel Selbstmordgedanken und viel Selbstmordgedöns. Heute ist es nicht mehr, Gott sei Dank, aber ich kann das nachfühlen, glaube ich, auch wenn es vielleicht bei dir ganz anders war als bei mir.
Ja. Ja.
Und dann hast du Musik praktisch so als deine Medizin auch erfahren oder als dein Anker, dein Weg.
Das war, ja.
Und hast das dann, wann hast du praktisch entschieden, dass das dann auch dass das deine Profession ist, dass du das wirklich Vollzeit machen willst? Wie ist da der Weg gewesen?
Als ich hatte also ein bisschen aufgegeben, weil ich viel umgezogen bin. Wie ihr alle seht, wie du siehst, spreche ich auch Deutsch. Das liegt daran, dass ich dann nach der der Trennung meiner Eltern nach Deutschland gezogen bin mit meinem Vater. Spreche ja eigentlich fließend Deutsch, obwohl der schlechter geworden ist, aber war mir nicht genug, um Philosophie studieren zu gehen in Deutschland.
Wolltest du Philosophie studieren?
Ja.
Ich habe 2 Jahre Philosophie studiert. Ich habe aber dann nicht
Auf
weiter-
Deutsch? Auf Deutsch? No fucking way. Jesus Christ.
Ja.
So 5 wie sagt man, Pages. Was heißt Pages?
Seiten.
Ja, Nietzsche und Kant, wo einfach das am Ende, das Abfackeln oder Abfunken oder was weiß ich, abtrennen, ganz am Ende diese 5 Seiten liegt. Und du musst und dann siehst du so die Equations und die Trigonometrie in deinem Kopf und dann musst du, okay, ich glaube, ich weiß, was er jetzt bedeutet.
Ja, ich meine, so geht es mir, selbst wenn ich es in Deutsch, also ich meine, ich bin ja muttersprachlich Deutsch, aber geht mir genauso, wenn ich Nietzsche oder Hegel oder sowas lese. Das ist ja auch so ein bisschen der Spaß. Manchmal kommt es mir sogar vor, als wäre es für mich leichter in Englisch. Englisch ist eine andere, Englisch ist nicht so exakt. Es gibt mehr Raum für Interpretation, habe ich das Gefühl.
Ja,
Lässt einen dadurch freier durch die Sprache was erfahren. Aber
ich weiß ja nicht, ob das der Punkt war von Nietzsche, Hegel, Kant.
nein, natürlich nicht.
Die wollten ja.
Ja, klar.
genau sein, weißt du, so.
Ja.
So ist es und so muss es sein.
Also meine Frage, du wolltest eigentlich tatsächlich oder du hast überlegt, Philosophie in Deutschland zu studieren, hast aber gemerkt, das funktioniert irgendwie nicht und
Das wäre mir zu schwer gewesen, denke ich.
eine andere Option irgendwie wäre nicht
War dann nach England zu gehen.
und dort Philosophie zu studieren.
Ich habe mich dann umentschieden und dann ging ich für soziale Anthropologie und Media Communication and what was it called? Communication, Media and Culture Studies hieß das.
Okay.
Also Kommunikation, Medien und Kulturenstudien. Und das habe ich dann als Hybrid-Studium gemacht. War dann, wie die Engländer das nennen oder wie die englische Sprache das nennt, BSc, BA gleichzeitig, weil das eine hat als BA, Bachelor of Arts counted. It counted as a Bachelor of Arts and the other one counted as a Bachelor of Science.
Ja.
Und gezielt, das war das Wort, was ich wollte. Das eine hat das BA gezählt und das andere hat das BSc gezählt. Und dann bin ich raus aus dieser Universität und dann bin ich weg aus dieser Stadt
Wo warst du denn in England?
in Oxford.
Oxford, okay.
Ja. Und ja, die Uni, die Stadt, alles, es war ein bisschen.
Warum? Was war das?
Ich hasse nicht viele Dinge, obwohl man das jetzt denken würde. Ich sage Hass ganz viel. Ich bin auch ein Mensch der Kontradiktionen und ein Mensch der vor allem der Extremen. Aber nicht, ich meine das nicht ehrlich, ich sage es nur so. Ich habe wirklich Schwierigkeiten, so sagen wir jetzt, I'm gonna try and express myself a little more humanly. Wirklich Schwierigkeiten mit Bullies,
Ja.
Unchecked privilege, and people who look down on other people.
Okay.
Oder überhaupt seine Position in der Gesellschaft, nicht darüber zu denken, wie vielleicht ein schwarzer Mann von der Polizei anders gehandelt wird als ein weißer Mann, weißt du, oder diese Sorte Sachen.
Ja, so weltfremd zu sein mit seinem, ich weiß gar nicht, ja, mit seinem Privileg.
Ja.
Dass man das für Gott gegeben hält und dass man das verdient hat, obwohl man eigentlich gar nichts dafür kann, weil es die Eltern irgendwie geschafft haben oder so. Aber du hast das, hast du gesagt.
Ich finde, dass es gibt in mir einen Triggerpunkt da, wo ich wirklich, ich bin in diese Sorte Bezirken aufgewachsen. Meine Eltern wollten immer, also ich komme aus Washington DC. Washington DC ist ja die Stadt des Daseins und des, weißt du, alle Leute, die da arbeiten in DC, haben irgendwas mit die Regierung zu tun oder sowas. Also alles, was da passiert, ist seen and being seen.
Ja.
Und es war dann immer, wenn wir auf wie sagt man das, Dinners gingen mit Leuten oder sowas, müssen wir dann mit Kragenhemden und schöne kleine Spießer-Pullis und diese Sorte Dingen auftauchen, dass Leute dachten, oh, what cute little boys, aren't they lovely, they look so conservative and beautiful.
Ja, wow. Weißt du, was ich interessant finde daran, ist, dass du praktisch aus diesem Sehen und Gesehen werden, Fake-Establishment kommst oder da bist du groß geworden und dass dir das jetzt aber in der Musik so wichtig ist, dass das praktisch nicht perfekt ist und dass das nicht polished ist und dass es sich so roh wie möglich anhört und dass es eben nicht so tut, als ob.
Ja.
Es ist spannend eigentlich. Ne?
Ja.
Und
es liegt direkt daran. Es hat alles damit zu tun. Du hast vollkommen recht.
Ja, krass. Ja. Und mit was für Musik hast du angefangen, als du so dich entdeckt hast als Musiker? Was war das Erste, was du so, in welche Richtung du gegangen bist? Du hast wahrscheinlich nicht gleich das gemacht, was du heute machst.
Das erste Mal, dass ich Musik, die nicht christlich war, performiert habe, that's totally not German, sorry, vorgespielt habe an Leute, war das Californication von the Red Hot Chili Peppers und Take a Look Around von Limp Bizkit.
Ja.
Das war ein Abend in meiner Schule, wo wir zusammengekommen sind mit ein paar von den Jungs, die so ein bisschen mehr auf Rock waren in der Schule. Es waren ja die 2000, das muss so 2001 oder 1999 gewesen sein. Irgendwo zwischen 99 und 2001. Und wir haben dann, Dream of Californication gespielt und Take a Look Around. Das war das erste Mal, dass ich irgendwas überhaupt getan habe mit Musik, die nicht christlich war. Dann fing ich mit Pop-Punk an. Blink-182 und die Sum 41 und was weiß ich, The Offspring, diese Sorte Sachen. Vor allem Blink-182, weil ich diese Harmonien geliebt habe, die sie gemacht haben. Das hat irgendwas an, ich bin ein Fan und werde immer ein Fan sein und werde auf diesen Hügel sterben, wie man auf Englisch sagt, dass ich ein Fan von die Backstreet Boys bin.
Ja?
Immer.
Kannst du das erklären?
Nein. Muss ich nicht. I want it that way. Tell me why. Come on, how can you not love that?
Okay.
Und diese Harmonien, ich habe eigentlich einen guten Grund dafür. Diese Harmonien haben sehr viel auch mit älterer Musik zu tun. Die Art, auf wie sie die Harmonien gemacht haben, ähnelt like old Appalachian Folk und
Oh ja.
old like Christian Choir Music und diese Sorte Sachen. Die wie sagt man das, die Tonalitäten, die sie gewählt haben, ähneln das ganz, ganz nah. Und ich liebe diese Musik auch. Also ich denke, gut gemachte Harmonien sind sowieso für mich, ich denke, alle Leute, ich denke, es liegt im tiefsten Inneres des Menschen, dass wir zu Harmonien und gut gesungene Sachen und gute Stimmen immer wieder kann man gravitieren auf Deutsch sagen?
Dass wir uns angezogen fühlen oder dass wir dahin uns, es ist so schwierig zu übersetzen, 1:1 in meinem Kopf.
Angelockt?
Angezogen fühlen, dass wir uns,
Ja, sowas.
Ja.
Ja, und das darum und Blink-182 machen ja sehr ähnliche Sachen eigentlich mit ihren Stimmen. Und das fand ich immer sehr schlau von denen, dass sie diese Harmonien dazu gebracht haben, was eigentlich keine andere Punkbands jemals wirklich gemacht haben.
Super interessant. Mir wäre das nie aufgefallen. Wie gesagt, ich habe nicht so ein Gehör, um solche Sachen zu hören. Ich bin einfach musikalisch überhaupt nicht geschult. Ich habe mal eine Zeit lang selbst ein bisschen Musik gemacht, aber so auf Ableton. So Elektro, Techno und sowas. Und wie gesagt, ich war ja immer Fan von Pharrell Williams.
Ja.
Und ich wollte immer, dass es sich anders hört. Aber was mir dann passiert ist, es hört sich halt einfach schief an. Und das Ding ist ja, wenn du da stundenlang davor sitzt oder tagelang, irgendwann hörst du nicht mehr, wie es sich anhört. Man braucht immer so eine Pause, um dann wieder zu hören, wie es sich wirklich anhört. Ja. Und manchmal habe ich irgendwas gemacht, eine halbe Woche lang, also wirklich mit Energy Drinks und so. Und dann eine Woche später habe ich mir das angehört und ich habe mir gedacht, Alter, hä?
Ja.
Ist da irgendwie, habe ich das falsch gespeichert oder irgendwas? Nein, das war einfach nur Bullshit, den ich da gemacht habe.
Ja.
Ja.
Man muss es gibt keinen Ersatz für Ruhe, es gibt keinen Ersatz für Stille, es gibt keinen Ersatz für Nichtstun.
Ja.
Nichtstun ist Nichtstun. Und das musst du. Das musst du mindestens einmal in deiner Woche.
Ja.
Ich habe das eben ein paar Tage darüber gesprochen mit ein Freund von mir, mit der ich gerade auf Tour bin, der Sean K. Preston heißt er. Super Mensch. Es gibt eine Kunst ans Leben. Man muss die Kunst des Lebens wissen.
Ja. Ich bin gerade am Überlegen, ob wir schon diesen Abstecher machen auch. Oder ob wir noch in der Musik bleiben. Weil das...
Wie du magst.
Ja, wir können auch uns immer wieder zurück und wieder hervor. Aber ich glaube, ich wollte noch ein bisschen weiter deine musikalische Entwicklung. Du hast auch unterschiedliche Namen immer wieder, ne? Dann ist The Dark Reverend Thema. Und es ist, du hast ja jetzt so ein bisschen von deiner Kindheit erzählt und auch vorhin mit diesem Kontrast, dieses Establishment und rohe Musik. Und dann hast du dieses Kirchliche, aber du bist jetzt the Dark Reverend.
Mhm.
Und es ist so ein bisschen ein Anti- oder so ein rebellisches gegen das, vielleicht auch eine Verarbeitung. Du hast ja auch gesagt, dass du ganz viel, dass dir diese Musik oder dieser Ausdruck auch hilft, mit Dingen umzugehen. Und vielleicht steckt es ja auch mit drin, ich weiß es nicht. Ähm, Wie würdest du denn heute deine Musik beschreiben? Also du spielst ja mit Symbolen wie, also mit satanischen Symbolen spielst du spielst mit, ich habe, seitdem du die Frisur hast,
Mhm.
habe ich Grindelwald.
Ja, ja, danke,
Vater, Grindelwald.
danke.
Und
Grindelwald. Ja.
Weißt du das nicht? Oder?
Nein, ich liebe Grindelwald.
Okay,
Shit,
cool.
that guy is awesome.
Ja, lustig. Ich habe gestern mit einer Freundin aus Argentinien geschrieben und sie will gerade die Bücher auf Englisch lesen und versucht, die Bücher zu bekommen in Argentinien. Und da war dann auch Grindelwald. Und dann dachte ich mir, ja, morgen habe ich Grindelwald im Podcast. Und ja, vielleicht einfach, okay, wie machst du eigentlich heute, oder wie würdest du deine Musik heute beschreiben? Und auch, was sind da so deine Einflüsse? Mit welchen Symbolen spielst du, oder was ist dir wichtig zu transportieren und sowas?
Die einzige, also wenn ich auf irgendeine spirituelle, ich beginne hiermit, wenn ich auf irgendeine spirituelle Ebene mich überhaupt befassen würde, dann wäre es wahrscheinlich Taoismus. Dass die Idee, dass es immer ein, wie sagt man das, Balance
Ja.
ist. Alles, was schwarz ist, kann auch weiß sein. Je nachdem, wie man es betrachtet. Es müssen Berge bestehen, um Tale zu sein.
Ja.
Es muss den Tag geben, um die Nacht zu geben und vice versa. Und für jemanden, der irgendwas sieht oder macht, kann das was gut bedeuten oder gut gemeint sein. Aber jemanden, der das empfängt, kann das gut oder schlecht empfangen.
Du gesagt hast, mit diesem Yin und Yang letzten Endes, ne? Schwarz und Weiß,
Ja.
Tal. Und du kannst nur was als gut empfinden, wenn du weißt, was schlecht ist. Du kannst nur glücklich sein, wenn du weißt, wie es ist, unglücklich zu sein, letzten Endes. Ne?
Ja.
Also du brauchst den Kontrast.
Ja.
Und das hast du gerade beschrieben, das finde ich unheimlich spannend, weil man so ja vielleicht auch schlechte Zeiten einfach auch anders betrachten kann oder damit anders umgehen kann, weil man sagen kann, okay, ich brauche ja diese Täler, ich brauche diese schlechte Zeit, um dann überhaupt wieder auf den Gipfel zu kommen, um wieder in die gute Zeit zu kommen. Ich brauche die Spannung. Und ich habe es zum Beispiel bei mir erfahren, ich brauche viel mehr Täler oder ich brauche tiefere Täler und höhere Höhen als andere Menschen zum Beispiel. Ich bin nicht glücklich, wenn das alles nur so ein bisschen, sondern da muss schon ein bisschen Action sein. Und für andere ist es dann zu viel Action und die brauchen ein bisschen mehr so. Aber
Ich kenne das überhaupt nicht. Ich verstehe nichts davon. Mein Leben ist so eine gerade Linie. Alles ging gut, aber nicht zu gut, aber nicht zu schlecht.
ja.
Nein, ich bin genauso. Aber das fucking mit die Symbolen, die ich mache, ist 100% mit Absicht oder absichtlich. In dem Sinne, dass ich habe Christentum von innen erlebt. In die most practicing, die meist, was könnte man sagen, leidenschaftliche Kirchen, die man sich vorstellen könnte. Baptists sind super over the top. Komplett, das ist irre, was man da, also es gibt ja Leute, die und diese Sorte Sachen. Und ich war ja nicht so weit weg, dass wir jetzt mit what are they called? Die Leute, die Schlangen behandeln, giftige Schlangen, ich weiß nicht mehr, wie die heißen, aber das ist noch ein Stückchen krasser. Gibt es auch in Amerika, in die Backwoods, und lassen sich dann von Schlangen beißen und sagen, Jesus hat mich gerettet, bla bla bla.
Okay, davon habe ich noch nichts gehört.
Es gibt einen Namen dafür. Ich komme zurück, wenn mir das wieder einfällt. Aber ich habe das vom tiefsten Inneren gesehen und ich habe auch sehr, sehr schlechte Seite an diese Sorte Sachen gesehen. Man sieht auch die Dark Underbelly von Christentum oder von organisierte Religion generell, wenn man in der Mitte davon steht. Und wie Leute auf einmal nicht mehr mit uns sein wollten, sprechen wollten, uns überhaupt angucken wollten, wenn meine Eltern sich geschieden haben, weil
Oh ja.
das ja nicht christlich ist. Man darf sich ja nicht scheiden.
Ja.
Oder wenn es darum ging, über meine Gedanken zu sprechen mit meiner Oma oder mit meinen Predigern über, gibt es überhaupt einen Gott?
Ja.
Warum glauben wir daran, was wäre, wenn ich jetzt Muslime werde oder wenn ich auf einmal zu Judentum kehre oder auf einmal Buddhist, als mich als Buddhist beschreibe oder entscheide zu sein. Und ich wurde sofort gesagt, dass das schlecht war, dass ich überhaupt nicht daran denken sollte, dass es satanisch ist, sowas zu denken, dass man schlechte Sachen auf sich bringt. Diese Sorte Dinge, wo ich sehe einfach, dass generell gesprochen ist ein Glaubnis an irgendwas gut, aber ich weiß nicht, ob es unbedingt in die Hände von ein Prediger, ein Priester, ein Imam, ein Rabbi sein sollte.
Ja, ich hatte vor 2 Wochen einen Gast, das ist eine praktizierende Christin, auch in der Gemeinde und so weiter. Und da haben wir auch darüber gesprochen. Ich kann zu den meisten Werten, die es im christlichen Glauben gibt, kann ich zustimmen.
Mhm.
Womit ich ein Problem habe, ist die Institution, die Kirche und generell Glaubensgruppen. Weil in der Gruppe oft die Leute dumm werden und dann Dogmen aufstellen und dann darf man zum Beispiel nicht mehr fragen, warum. Oder man darf bestimmte Dinge nicht mehr diskutieren, weil das ist ja das Dogma. Und das Dogma kann man ja nicht brechen.
Oder überhaupt machen.
Ja, und dann gibt es ganz schnell Gruppendynamiken, die eigentlich überhaupt nichts mehr mit dem Glauben oder mit irgendwas zu tun, sondern einfach menschliche, dumme Gruppendynamiken. Ach, der ist nicht so oft in der Gemeinde wie wir und deswegen ist für all diese banalen Sachen, die dann stattfinden.
Die ich durchgelebt habe.
Genau, und das finde ich aber dann teilweise schade, weil diese Sachen dann den eigentlichen Glauben überschatten. Und das ganz schwer ist, das wieder zu trennen. Und deswegen finde ich glaube, dass im Glaube und in Spiritualität ganz viel Kraft ist und dass das auch ein Teil unseres Seins ist, also dass wir das als Wesen ein Stück weit brauchen. Also sowas wie daran zu glauben, an das Gute im Menschen zu glauben, ist wichtig. Solche Glaubenssachen zu haben und ich würde sagen, das ist spirituell, das kann ja jeder labeln, wie er will. Es ist vielleicht sogar teilweise christlich zu einem Stück, aber
aber jede Religion will an das Gute in Menschen glauben, wirklich. Also ich meine, sogar Religionen, die, ich denke,
ja, ich weiß, was du sagst.
Religionen auch, wie sagt man das, monotheistische Religionen bezeichnen sich oft als, weißt du, was Manichäismus ist?
Nee.
Es gab Religionen in einem gewissen Zeitpunkt, Zoroastrianismus, das persische Glauben, das eine von der ältesten Religionen auf der Welt, organisierte Religionen auf der Welt, die jetzt unterdrückt wird durch die schöne Regierung in Iran. Danke Amerika.
Ich schaue keine Nachrichten mehr.
Ja.
Ich kann es nicht mehr. Es ist wie in einen schlechten Kinofilm gehen. Man weiß nicht, was Special Effects ist und was nicht. Also, warum soll ich es mir noch anschauen, so ungefähr. Aber gestern hat mir ein Freund gesagt, ja, Iran und Israel beschießen sich jetzt mit Raketen. Ich war so, was? Ist es schon so? Also was?
Ja.
Und dann gucke ich ein paar Headlines und es hat mich wirklich, keine Ahnung, es hat mich fertig gemacht. Und jetzt weiß ich nicht mehr, worauf ich hinaus wollte. Ich wollte, achso, du hast es mit der Religion gesagt und danke USA.
Ja.
Und keine Ahnung, nein, ich will eigentlich nicht in die Richtung gehen, sorry. Das hat mich nur gestern so bedrückt und jetzt sprichst du es an mit Iran und so. Und ich kenne viele Iraner, mit denen ich auch zusammengearbeitet habe. Und Iraner sind mit die schönsten Menschen oder die man sich vorstellen kann, die mir begegnet sind.
Obwohl man sie liebstens als Perser bezeichnet.
Ja, sie sagen selbst zu sich Perser, ja.
Weil Iran bedeutet eigentlich nur die Muslime extrem or how do you even say that in English? The far extreme Muslim government is called Iran. But I don't think that's
die
what.
Extremisten praktisch sind die Iraner sind und die Perser sind das Volk.
Und die Regierung ist auch die iranische Regierung, aber ich denke, dass ganz viel vom Volk,
Ja.
besonders die Leute, die schon raus emigriert sind, als Amerika über der Coup organisiert hat und dann der Ayatollah in der Macht gesetzt hat, diese Leute bezeichnen sich als Perser sowieso.
Ja, und es ist, glaube ich, heute überall auf der Welt so, dass sich die Leute, das Volk eigentlich nicht mehr mit der Regierung identifizieren kann. Es findet überall statt. Also ich habe letztens überlegt, ne, was wäre, wenn hier wirklich Krieg ausbricht. Da habe ich gedacht, es wird niemand wirklich kämpfen. Wir haben ja keine Patriotisten. Die Leute haben, seit dem Zweiten Weltkrieg wurde denen der Patriotismus und Nationalismus und Mutterlandliebe wurde ausgetrieben. Und jetzt auf einmal wird's ein bisschen, dann merkt man, es gibt noch Raubtiere da draußen in der Welt und eigentlich sind die Länder miteinander es ist eine Anarchie irgendwo. Und dieses Friede, Freude, Eierkuchen, wir brauchen kein Militär und sowas, wir brauchen auch keinen Nationalismus für Krieger sozusagen. Wir dürfen keine Krieger mehr haben. Wir haben Toxic Masculinity. Vielleicht wollen wir doch wieder Masculinity. Vielleicht ist Masculinity doch nicht so toxisch, weil wir brauchen vielleicht Leute, die sich wehren
Ja.
und kämpfen und so weiter. Und es ist so ein großes Aufwachen, habe ich das Gefühl, bei vielen Dingen. Ich will aber eigentlich gar nicht in diese Richtung.
Capitalism.
Capitalism.
Capitalism is a death cult. Fuck capitalists.
Ja, das glaube ich nicht, aber das wäre ein ganz anderes Rabbit Hole zum Gehen.
Okay, ich wollte aber sagen, Manichäismus ist das Glauben, dass die Religion, die an zwei Götter glauben, ein schlechtes Gott und ein gutes Gott. Ich will jetzt nichts Falsches sagen, aber ich denke, dass Zoroastrianismus so eine Religion war. Ich weiß nicht, ob sie das jetzt noch ist, aber am Anfang glaube ich, dass sie tatsächlich in zwei Götter, ein Gott des Guten und ein Gott des Schlechten geglaubt hat. Es gab auch noch ein paar andere Religionen in der Lauf der menschlichen Zeit, die das so ähnliche Gläubnisse hatten, aber alle Religionen glauben eigentlich wirklich an einen guten und einen schlechten Gott. Auch wenn Leute sagen, nein, es gibt nur einen Gott. Ja, und warum sprichst du dann die ganze Zeit über Satan?
Ja.
Was ist das denn?
Ja.
Er wurde nicht einmal mentioniert, überhaupt erwähnt in der Bibel. Warum, weißt du überhaupt, wo Satan herkommt? Nein, weißt nicht. Satan ist ein Construct von der Religion gewesen, von der katholischen Kirche, die sich auf Pan basiert hat, nicht Pan, Dionysus, Dionysus auf Englisch,
Ja, weiß.
basiert hat, um der Rest von den Paganer, sagt man das so auf Deutsch? Nee, Pagans,
Ich weiß nicht, wie man das auf Deutsch sagt.
die Leute, die römische Gotte oder die griechische Gotte der Pantheon geehrt haben. Also Zeus, Dionysos, Athena, die
Heiden.
Yes, that's the word, thank you. Ja, die auf die Heidengötter noch geglaubt haben. Die katholische Kirche hat es nötig gehabt, um die letzte Glaubenden, ihr Gott zu dämonisieren. Und dann haben sie entschieden, dass es einen Satan gibt, dass Satan auch zwar sogar diese Ziegelbeinen hat und die Hörner und das alles, und dann hat sich langsam aber sicher was auf diese Image gebaut.
Ja.
Der einzige, wenn man früher in die pre-Judaism, wie sagt man das, Aberglauben reinguckt und das, was es davor gab, der Glauben ist, dass die hebräische Leute und die ganzen Leute von diesen, sagen wir mal, the Semitic Regions hatten, weil Semit heißt ja eigentlich alles, was am Mediterranisch, God damn it, this is hard, on the Mediterranean Sea.
Mittelmeer, ja.
Ja, genau.
Mittelmeer, ja.
Das alles war die Geschichten, die daraus entstehen sind, dass es Engel gab oder eine Sorte von Engel und dass es dann einen Streit gab und der einzige Engel, es gibt Verwechslungen, aber Azrael sollte der Engel sein, der gesagt hat, nee, ich bin mit dir nicht einverstanden, entschuldige, ich bin mit dir nicht einverstanden. Ich will nicht, dass Menschen einfach nur deine Puppets sein. Ich möchte denen das Recht geben, sich für sich selbst zu bestimmen. Und es war auch eine Frage, folgen die Christen, war auch eine Frage dass die Engel neidisch waren, dass Gott seine neue Kreation mehr geliebt hat als den. Aber die früheren Geschichten sagen, dass Azrael gesagt hat, sie sollten auch das Recht haben, um selbst das zu bestimmen, was sie machen wollen. Und dann ist ein Streit entstanden und dann ist er und ein paar die Engel oder die ganze Engel, die mit ihm in diesem Streit waren, sozusagen wie sagt man das?
Im Paradies vertrieben.
Genau, richtig. Und Azrael heißt auf Hebräisch der Licht bringt.
Ah,
Das wurde dann zu Luzifer. Luzifer heißt auf Latein der Licht bringt. Und irgendwann ist das zusammengemischt worden mit Satan. Und Satan kommt, der erste Mention von das Wort Satan ist eigentlich Muslim. Shaitan heißt es
Wirklich?
auf Islam. Oder vor islamische Gläubnisse heißt der Shaitan. Und Shaitan ist eigentlich so eine Metapher für Böse, für das Böse einfach.
okay.
Also
Ja.
es
Personifizierung des Bösen praktisch, oder
nicht mal Personifizierung, es ist einfach das Böse.
ein Symbol. Ja?
Ja, genau, richtig. Es könnte sogar das Tun von böse Sachen sein. Das, was du gemacht hast, wäre Shaitan.
Okay.
Soweit ich das verstanden habe. Ich habe ganz viele diese Sorte Gespräche mit ganz vielen Leuten gehabt, mein ganzes Leben, weil ich super interessiert bin in diese Sorte Sachen.
Ja, ich finde das auch super interessiert. Ich frage mich nur gerade, wie das dann zu dem The Dark Reverend geführt hat. Und
Naja.
zwar, du hast es ja schon gesagt, ne? Du hast es angefangen mit, du glaubst nicht wirklich so richtig an nur gut oder nur böse. Du sagst, alles ist Tal, alles ist
Ja.
Gipfel oder abwechselnd oder
Ja.
Yin und Yang, schwarz und weiß.
Ja.
Und du glaubst an das Gute im Menschen, aber trotzdem bist du The Dark Reverend und du hast es ja gerade ausgeführt, ne, wie so diese Gedanken, wie diese Philosophie bei dir praktisch dahinter auch
Entstanden.
strukturiert ist
Ja.
und sowas, ne? Und was, wenn du das genau beschreiben wollen würdest, was ist genau The Dark Reverend? Für was steht es?
Ähm, mh, also ich habe das auch in einen Satz gefasst, den ich denke ganz gut das nachgibt, was ich sagen möchte. The dark is where we have fun. The dark is where we make new friends. We party in the darkness. We celebrate in the darkness. And I want to rebrand the darkness as something positive.
Ah. Aber wieso hast du die Annahme, dass wir zum Beispiel die Freunde in der Dunkelheit machen? Wieso hast du das Gefühl, dass wir den Spaß in der Dunkelheit haben? Warum ist es für dich auf der Seite der Dunkelheit? Weil ich würde das von mir aus erstmal nicht auf die dunkle Seite stellen.
Ja, dunkel ist ja nur a state of lack of light.
Ja.
Like it's not, I'm talking about like,
Ja.
komm auf die dunkle Seite. That's not what I mean. I mean like the people, traditionally humanity, celebrated around dark times. The bonfires, the feasts, the animal sacrifices in early human history. Possibly people sacrifices, but we're not talking about that. But all of these celebrations that humanity had were not during the day, because during the day is when you work.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't know if you ask me, what my association with party or with coming together is, it's not dark. It's actually like a huge table in the park, and the family is coming together. During midday, the children are playing.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty bright. So,
Yeah.
But I see your point. I see where you are going.
I think it's more, it's not that specifically that's the only place where we do it, but it is one of the places where we discover new people and maybe new music or new films or stuff like that, and that ultimately there's a really bad misbranding of all things dark. Because honestly, when I look at what I see modern Satanists practicing versus modern Christians, I would much rather be on the Satanist side.
Oh, really? I have no idea about Satans, actually. I have no idea. I actually don't have a lot of ideas about Christians as well, but because I stay away from religions in general. So
That's
that's what I'm interested. But I think it's interesting that you want to, like, actually, you want to bring the darkness into light,
yes.
which is like you want to mix it, like
Yeah.
like a crossover.
Everything is gray.
Yeah.
Nothing is black or white.
Like a couple years ago, I was doing parties, organizing parties, like event management stuff, and we did concerts, and we mixed certain genres. Like we went to a techno club,
Mm-hmm.
but we had like dark wave rock
Oh, cool.
musicians,
Uh-huh.
and then a different DJ or something,
Okay.
and then techno.
Okay.
And what was interesting, it was this crossover people
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like people came, one group came just for the rock band, and the other people came for the techno music,
Mhm.
and then they were mixed,
Mhm.
and they enjoyed it together, and it was, I think it was incredible.
Yeah.
But we stopped doing it because we were our own best customers for certain things.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
we had to stop.
Okay.
No, but I love that. I love that mixing stuff, crossover stuff. It's probably also why I love Pharrell Williams. It's also this crossover. But now in your music, when you say, so you are the dark reverend, you want to maybe bring things to light or turn things around in their meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And now you you mix certain genres as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
what is it that you are mixing? Like, can you explain it to me? What these, let's say, ingredients are?
I would say that there's gospel in there. There's obviously blues, there's rock, there's country, and there's a good bit of like jazz and vaudeville and sort of like early 1900s music mixed in with sort of the heavier rock that I grew up with, basically.
Yeah. Have you listened to the Kanye gospel album, the blue one, Goddess, I think it's called? Do you know it?
I'm not a huge fan of Kanye. I like his production style, and I liked him as a producer for the other people that he worked with. But and I liked his early work, like the, what is it, 808 Broken Hearts, blah, blah, blah.
The school dropout stuff.
Yeah, the one with the teddy bear.
Yeah, school dropout. I don't know what.
And then there was an 808 Heartbeats or 808 Heart, or I think it was called something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's the one that basically up until he did that Diamonds Are Forever song, that I was kind of still.
True. It's a break in his career, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the newer stuff, it's more experimental. There's since it was not Picasso, it was not the Pablo, it was another one, which was very dark and very different.
Okay.
I think there was I forgot it, but I enjoy him as an artist. I think he's a great artist. I think he knows culture so well, and he's playing with culture on a level nowadays. I mean, people say he's insane. Actually, they say he's insane because they can't deal with what he's actually doing. But he's playing with the zeitgeist. He's playing with, like, now with these Third Reich things,
Symbolic.
as a black man. And he's crossing every boundary. And at the same time, he knows it's not mainstream.
Yeah.
Mainstream can't take it.
Yeah.
But he knows he will get the awareness anyway.
Yeah.
And I think he's playing with this, how do I get the most awareness? So I go with my wife on the red carpet, and she will be completely naked. You still have something on, and I know you want to sell sex on the red carpet. But I go there and I give you sex. And you can top it. There's nothing you can do more. And the same with the songs. Yeah, there's nothing more shocking nowadays than what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think he's a genius. And it's not so much as a musician, but as an artist. I see him as an artist. And I think people will think about him in a couple years very differently than today. Today, it's not allowed to actually take him seriously as an artist because he's so far away with certain things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes, maybe, and no. I think I can agree that he's an artist, and that his art is an integral. It's just one entire thing.
Yeah.
It's one whole. It's a full package, and I can appreciate that. I'm pretty sure that he probably needs to take some medication.
Oh yeah. Sure.
You know, I mean, like, being an artist in general is not a healthy state of being. Like David Bowie once said, this is a very strange thing that we do, and it takes a very strange person to want to do it, or something along those lines. And I fully agree. We're a bunch of weirdos, artists.
What does it take? What does it take? I mean, I say I'm an artist doing that. I think this is a form of art and performance and so on, even though I know a lot of people would say, oh no, it's just a conversation, but I don't give a shit. So it's just, and it takes something to do it. And we talked before the recording that now I have 4 days in Berlin with 4 recordings, and it's just too much because I cannot get into this flow I need to perform with a person. I have a preparation, which is not like preparing questions.
No.
It's like, it's getting into a cosmos of topics which I want to discover with a guest, which I want to play in. And if I cannot really prepare it and then put it aside and then go back to it, it's like something that comes up.
Yeah.
Until I have the conversation, and then it breaks out.
Yeah.
And when I do it 4 in a row in 4 days, it's not really building up. It's not really building up like I would like to.
Right.
And
You don't have the time for that.
right. And it's something, you know, I lay in bed and it's just like conversations in my head, and it's pictures in my head, and it's topic, and it's like hard turns, it's U-turns. Where can you go with that, and so on, and how. It's like painting, actually. It's like, where do I put the brush in a certain way?
Yeah.
But what I notice is, you know, I have this build up, and there is tension, and then I have the conversation, and afterwards there is the tension is gone, the pressure is out, and I
A release.
have to recover. Yeah, there's a release. I need time to recover, actually.
Yeah.
And I like this change of state and tension.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah.
But it needs to have a certain frequency as well. If the frequency is too high, I don't enjoy it. And you, to the beginning, you do so many shows, and you say it takes so much energy.
Yeah.
It was funny, we went to the kitchen and I had some creatine there, and you say, oh, I take it every day.
Yeah.
I need it. I take creatine also every day, and I need it, especially when I'm tired, when I didn't get my sleep. It helps me to at least be on a level of being okay.
Yeah.
That I might not have without it. You do protein shakes, you told me. So maybe you can talk about this. You said, like, to be an artist, to be a musician, you need to be a weirdo. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
What does it actually mean? What is your idea of that?
I think that's a different recipe for everyone. I don't think there's one answer.
What is it for you?
Like many things in life, there's no one answer. My answer is, I'm deeply fucked up. I've been through a lot of crazy shit. I was homeless. I was, I was a very young alcoholic. I think, possibly you might remember me from back then. I was the child of 3 nations. I'm an American. That's fucked up enough. I'm serious. Like, you grow up and it's totally normal seeing people walking around with guns that they're openly carrying and stuff like that. And you know that there could be a shooting. There could be a shooting. Your family could die at any fucking minute. I went through the 9/11 attacks, excuse me. And my aunt was working close by to one of those planes one of the crash sites. And my family all live in the vicinity of DC, which is where the Pentagon is. So, like, all of these different things, being an American is some fucked up shit. You know what I mean? You don't have health care. You're paying at least $10,000 for something as stupid as like an ingrown toenail and 5 days in hospital to recover. You know what I mean? Or like an appendicitis.
Oh,
And that's not even counting the frickin' ambulance, which that's why no one in America takes ambulances. They get driven to the hospital because you get driven to the hospital. Otherwise, it's going to cost you probably $20,000 to $30,000 for an ambulance ride. And that's not covered by insurance. Even if you have one, the ambulance rides are not covered by insurance for, I think 90% of cases or something like that.
wow.
So that's some seriously messed up shit. It's also, I was beaten by both of my parents. I was mentally abused by both of my parents. I lived in 3 countries before the age of 16, which completely ruins your world, and then you have to rebuild everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. You lose all your friends. They're gone like that.
Yeah.
And you never see them again. And maybe you go back to home for like a vacation and you're like, oh yeah, but you don't do the stuff with them. You don't go through the shit with them. You don't get to have those experiences, those bonding. We went to prom together, or oh, we had our first beer together. Sneaky, when mom and dad weren't looking, we took a beer from the fridge and had it. And then, immediately puked it out. You don't get those experiences with the people that you grew up with, or you get it in, you do, but you get it in like a broken down, scattered format. So you have some of those experiences with these guys, and some of those experiences with these guys, and some of those experiences with those guys. And then you, not only that, but you grow up speaking several different languages, and those languages all have different paradigms. So when I'm speaking English, I speak differently, I think differently to when I'm speaking German, to when I'm speaking French, to when I'm speaking any of the other languages I speak. It's just a different way of approaching a different, even like there's just things that you cannot say the same in those languages.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, I discovered that living in Mexico, I was surrounded by Americans and Canadians most of the time. Like this was my folks, like huge groups of these folks. And I would say the Canadians are very common, well, they're very similar to Germans. Like the mentality is very similar to Germans.
Okay.
The US American mentality is more like crazy for a German. It's more outgoing. Everything needs to be great and huge, and everything is sensational. And
roads or drinks or food, everything is triple size.
And everything like it's like you have to avoid negativity and stuff like that. In German, you can be very balanced, or you can be negative if you want to, or if you feel like it.
Yeah.
So there is some dishonesty sometimes in the
American
US American culture.
Yeah.
Like the Canadians are very, very similar in the way of their mentality, also in their temperament. Like I felt like it's nearly the same with the people I have close Canadian friends, and I have close US American friends I lived with. And what I can also like imagine, I discovered that in Mexico, this sense of insecurity, like there could be a shooting. I had a couple of shootings in my street where I was living, like right in front of my house.
Yeah.
And it was not just only one time when I was laying on the ground to hope that the walls will
absorb the bullets. Yeah.
And then there was, which is like fucked up, but there was where I was living. They found a car in front of my house with 4 heads in it, and it's like
normal.
It's like normal.
Yeah.
It's in the town where I was living, there was a head count of 290 murders per capita. And it's like, okay, every day there's more, not every day, but every second day and more people are getting killed and dying. I mean, in Mexico, if you are white, you are a customer.
Yeah.
So you are kind of not in the
dynamic of
war.
Yeah.
Actually, you get kind of, you're more secure in a way because they really take care that tourism is not going down.
Yeah, because they know that's ultimately where the money's coming.
Right. So you are some kind of, but I mean, a bullet doesn't care if.
No.
So, and this, for example, I didn't go outside at night.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sober. I was clean. I did not do party anymore.
Yeah.
I was not interested. I wanted to wake up early, go swimming and stuff like that. So, but I did not feel comfortable. And it's not just the cartel; it's the police as well. Like I had friends who were going out at night, and they regularly got robbed by the police.
Yeah.
And it's like there is no security on a infrastructural level, let's say. So there is some you need to take care of yourself. There's a lot of taking, and I mean it's
That's the
different
same in
there.
the USA.
I guess it's a little bit different than in the USA, but it's a similar direction, right? It's like Mexico is a different minefield than
I would say
the
yes.
US.
I mean, but in the sense that you need to watch out for the cops, and you need
Oh,
to.
really?
Yeah, of course, they're not going to try and take bribes from you, but they will try and extend the full force of the law against you if they don't like you.
Oh, really?
So if you're black, or if you're in any way obviously queer or something like that, they can just try and find reasons to mess you up.
Wow.
I don't necessarily think that all cops are bastards or anything like that, like some of my punk friends. I think that's a generalization, and I don't like generalizations.
Yeah.
But in the US, I definitely can understand why people would feel that way. Certainly if they're obviously different, if they're easy to pick on, if they have a mohawk, if they have a vest covered in, Dead Kennedys patches and other, whatever punk bands that they're into, or even if they're just not white. It's the same treatment that you got in Mexico actually is kind of the same treatment that you would get in the US. You'll get a way easier pass if you have lighter skin.
Yeah, but it's not true with the police or something.
What do you mean?
True with like in Mexico,
Oh, okay.
they hate gringos.
Oh, right.
They hate
Okay.
gringos.
Okay.
But it's really like there's a difference. If everybody who's white is
Yeah.
gringo
Yeah.
at first glance.
Yeah.
But if they know you're from Europe,
Yeah.
if they know you're from Canada,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Okay.
They are more chilled.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they don't like gringos. And if you drive a car or something, they will pull you out, and you just have to pay because there's no other option than paying. And you pay him privately. You don't pay the police station. You pay this person.
Yeah.
And this is the way they make money. I mean, I would not blame them because it's so fucked up what happens where I was staying. I was living at the Riviera Maya,
Mm.
the Tulum, Playa del
Yes.
Carmen,
Yeah.
Cancun.
Yeah.
And it's not really Mexico. It's
No.
America. It's
Yeah.
little America. And there's so much money flowing and so much luxury stuff going on.
Yeah.
And these people don't get
Live in squalor by
right. And it's like, I mean, there's people profiting from it. I mean, it's one of the main income sources for whole Mexico, this area down there.
Yeah.
But the people there, they don't really, benefit from it. Anyways, that's a whole nother way, actually. But for you, could you ever imagine going back to the U.S. and live in the U.S.?
I was imagining that until very recently, about 5 months ago.
Oh, wow. You mean because of Trump?
I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Are you driving a Tesla?
Yes, I have several actually. Yeah, in all different colors. I'm a rich musician. No. But the situation is such that it would be untenable. It would be impossible to actually be able to live and start up again there with the prices of groceries.
Oh, yeah.
The prices of, gas is always cheap in the U.S. because America has all these deals with all these different places. Like, my American friends complain about gas being cheap, and I'm like, dude, you're paying $2 for 4 liters. That's a gallon.
Yeah.
It's like 3 liters and 88 or something
Yeah.
like that. In Europe, you pay €2 for 1 liter.
Yeah, but it's mainly taxes. It's not because of the deals. It's the taxes in Europe.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, still, that doesn't affect, that just has the same final effect on your living cost.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I was in the US. I was driving around for 2 months during the pandemic. I arrived actually in the US one day before Trump, when he was in office the first time.
Yeah.
I arrived one day before he closed the border for Europeans.
Yeah.
In New York to meet a friend, and then I left New York after 1.5 weeks. One day before New York got shut down, and I was flying to Las Vegas.
Okay.
Got a car and just kept driving.
Nice.
And I thought, after 3 weeks, everything is now back to normal, so I will go back. And I was driving for 2 months.
Yeah.
From Las Vegas to Orlando.
Mhm.
And actually, I was in contact with a lot of cops because I was sleeping in the car.
Yeah.
And they knocked and they were, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm waiting for a flight." That was always my go-to.
Smart.
Explanation. They were, "Oh, okay, yeah, but why here?" And I'm saying, "Oh, I'm trying to drive to this airport."
Yeah.
And they, okay. And they were very nice
Okay.
with me.
Yeah.
And I was one time, I'm scared. I don't know if especially when we do it in English, but I was stopped by the cops drinking, driving
Oh shit.
in Florida.
Uh-huh.
And I was wasted. And I was driving without lights and with earphones in my,
Wow.
and they stopped me in the middle of the night in Florida. And he asked me, "Are you under the influence?"
Yeah.
And while he was asking me, I went over to get my papers.
Uh-huh.
And I was overhearing it.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't ask again. He took the papers.
Uh-huh.
He was going back to the kind. I was sitting there for 20 minutes. And like, I'm going to jail. In Florida, you go to jail when you drink. And he came back with a warning
Uh-huh.
for the lights
Uh-huh.
and the earphones, and I could go home.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that was close.
Yeah.
That was fucking close. And I think probably if there wasn't a pandemic going on,
Yeah.
they would have taken me because there was all these problems with prisons and how to deal with it and so on. And I guess I experienced the US in a way barely foreigners could experience it because I was there right in the pandemic. I walked all over New York with this friend, no people.
Yeah.
I could just walk. The metro was empty.
Yeah.
It was kind of amazing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I actually don't know how the US is when it's normal, whatever normal means in the US, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so you cannot imagine to go back, or do you feel home in Europe? Is it your home?
I would love to go back. I would love to be able to live there some of the year or something like that. But I don't think that I could. I don't think that I could honestly afford to live in most places in the U.S. where there would be the kind of creative circles in art that you want to be around as a creative, as an artist of any kind.
Yeah.
Because that means you have to live in the big city, and prices are obviously more expensive. And anyway, living rurally in the U.S. is really hard in a different sense because there's a lot of groceries or things that aren't available to you.
Yeah.
Or you grow them yourself, but that's becoming harder too
Yeah.
because everything is a patent. There's a patent. There's a patent on the seeds, and there's a patent on this, and like
Yeah, it's hyper regulated, so only big farmers can make money and not the small ones and so on. And they are not allowed to do certain things, or they need certain things to actually do something, but it's so expensive to get these certain things, so you can't do it. But it's all over America. I mean, we have inflation here and everything gets more expensive. But I mean, I've been to Mexico or to Argentina, and it got fucking expensive. When you go to the grocery shop nowadays in Argentina, it's much more expensive than here.
Yeah.
Living prices are nearly the same as here, and they earn like, I had friends who
10
earned
times
like,
less.
I mean, I had a friend, she was working at Google.
Mhm.
She got $400 a month,
Mhm.
and her flat was $250.
Yeah.
So, and groceries were like here, there was nothing left at the end of the month. And
Sorry, I'm gonna say it again. Capitalism is a death cult.
I don't believe it because I really don't believe it because I don't think we have real capitalism. So it's like a little bit the opposite argument is on the communist side, or the left side is, a lot of people think that communism is the answer.
No. But
I just want to a
okay,
principle.
you go for it.
A principle that if I say, okay, it's not a good idea to have communism, look at history.
Yeah.
The answer often is, but that wasn't really.
Oh no. I fully agree with you. Communism is not the solution.
Yeah. But what I think, why we have a foundational problem with capitalism nowadays, and it's not obvious. It's obvious when you know it, and it took me a long time to see it, and now I really believe in it, and I think everybody should really learn about it. And this is money. You need to understand money to understand the system.
Yeah.
And our money is broken.
Yes.
Because our money is not hard money.
Yes.
And if money is not hard,
It's theoretical money.
It's monopoly
Yeah.
money. So it can be printed all the time. Inflation goes high, and everybody can do it who is in charge.
Yeah.
And who is in charge will print money to stay in power because he can promise everything to everybody.
Yeah.
So he will get voted again.
Mhm.
And nobody has an incentive to stop that. Everybody who's in the game has an incentive to keep going with that. And Nixon stopped the gold standard
Mhm.
to do his war, because you need money to make war. Where do you get the money to pay the soldiers? You get off the gold standard,
Yeah.
and you do fake money. You print
Yeah.
money, and this is the main problem. Why I don't think there is a system that treats people completely
Equally.
equally.
Yeah.
But I think there's better system and there's worse systems. And I think capitalism itself is not a bad system. It reflects the human nature very well. But what we have today is not, it's perverted, because if you think about capitalism and these systems as a motor, like a diesel engine, money is the oil you need so it works.
Yeah.
But if you put more and more sand into the oil, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And this is what we are doing with our money. Or if you put water into the oil and it gets more and more
Diluted.
inflated, the volume gets inflated, but the quality goes down.
That's a great analogy.
Then the engine doesn't work anymore. But nobody looks at the oil. Everybody is talking about the parts of the engine and how the engine is built. Capitalism is the way the engine is built, but it's actually not the problem. The problem is the fucking oil, and nobody wants to look at it because the incentives are to not look at it.
Yes.
And it's also the fault why the difference in income, the difference in wealth is so big. It's because people who are closer to money creation profit the most.
Yeah.
So the people who get credits can profit from it. But it is about money creation. Like every time somebody takes a credit, there's more money in M2 money supply.
Yeah.
Which means the pot gets bigger, which means inflation, but it needs time to go from the creation to actually the whole pool. So if I take a credit, there is not this inflation yet.
Yeah.
But now I spend this money and I have the same buying power as people before, but now I get the credit. I have more buying power. I can buy stuff. While I buy stuff for a cheap price, I inflate.
And your buying power goes down.
My buying power,
Once you've spent that money, your buying power goes down.
yeah, but what is more important, while I do it, it's getting more expensive for the other people.
Yes.
So they have less buying power than I had when I got the credit by the money printing.
Yeah.
So the whole credit debt system is actually, which is the outcome of this money we have, is a main problem. This is why I believe it's not really about capitalism and communism or anything. It's about the foundations of the system, and the main foundation is actually money, and nobody wants to look at it because this is where also the power lies. This is how people have power. But it's a whole nother topic.
No, I love this. Let's not stop. I have to pee.
Yeah, sure.
I have to pee.
Yeah.
I have to pee. No. I actually agree with what you said, very much. But let's get to that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're back. Do you want me to do that again?
No, I haven't.
Okay, good. So I agree fundamentally. I think that capitalism may not be the final stage of human development. I think hopefully we're going to find a better system still, because we're seeing the world of politics. A lot of people see the world of politics as a binary, and the world of like economic systems as a binary, but I don't think it should be. There's different aspects to all parties that excuse me,
No problem.
parties that exist, like political parties, political motivations, and economic motivations that exist in the world. I should know, I live in a country where there's like 15 parties. So you have to know not only if it's left or right, but if it's, a friend sent me this great graph and I just can't find it again, but it's basically left, right, yes, but also, I think it's also conservative versus liberal. So the idea that there's a left and a right, of course, most people understand. That's fine. Like the left is for the people, the right is for the wealth, generally speaking, more or less. And the right is usually more on the old values and the like hearkening to the past, and the left is theoretically pushing for the future, but that actually already encroaches into the idea of liberalism versus conservatism. And in the Netherlands, there are multiple right-wing parties, far right. There are multiple left-wing parties, and then there are those that exist in between that are hard to qualify or that don't know themselves. Like the Triple B, which is known as basically the party for the peasants, is what it translates to.
B. I thought it's the big beautiful bill.
No. There's that one too. Jesus. No. In the Netherlands, BBB was a party that actually nearly won, which was, can't remember what it stands for, but the one of the B's is boeren, where boeren means farmers or peasants. So that's what it basically, it was a party that didn't really know what the hell it was doing itself. It was just like, yeah, we're the farmers and we want stuff kind of thing. So I'm hoping that capitalism isn't the end goal of what we're doing. I'm hoping that we're going to come up with a better system that can come out of this. We don't have a Cold War, but we still have a Cold War thing between, those who are on the left side of the political spectrum and those who are on the right, not only within countries and country ideologies, but also within people and the people within those countries. But I do agree with you that capitalism was working fairly well until it decided to go completely deregulated.
Right.
And
you can.
Sorry. And I also think that very importantly, capitalism, oh crap, I've lost my train of thought now.
I'm sorry.
Gosh darn it. No, it's not on you. Don't worry. Capitalism we need to rein in the people who are in charge to remind them that it's necessary for there to be a cycle of ups and downs like you and I were talking about. Capitalism, any economic system, cannot constantly grow. That's ridiculous. Yes. The tallest of trees eventually get, cut down, and maybe one of their branches manages to somehow sprout itself and keep growing somewhere else. But if you look at every economic system, and actually I have a friend who's I think he's like a postdoctoral a student and also lecturer now of like macroeconomics, if I remember correctly. He did game theory for a while.
Oh, really?
He's a very interesting guy.
I would love to talk to him.
I think he's in Oxford right now, on another full ride, the bastard. Being smart so difficult. But actually, you might have met him. He's a friend from Frankfurt. He's called Ludwig.
Oh,
blonde hair,
yeah,
blue eyes, Swedish guy, pretty manic, but also a lovely guy, but very manic actually. But he explained to me that there were some studies done about sort of the average length that an economic cycle or an economic era took, and it was roughly 100 years.
Yeah.
So in 2008, when our governments decided they were going to bail all the fucking assholes out who got us into the shit in the first place, that's where we should have gone. Nope, we're cutting those assholes.
Right.
And we're gonna.
They have to stick to reality.
Yeah, and the ceasing to stick to reality started with Margaret Thatcher and did you say Nixon? It's Nixon, wasn't it?
Nixon went off
he separated the value of the dollar from the Fort Knox gold reserves.
Yeah. So it was at that point, money had no value anymore, actually.
Yeah.
And it's also, you talk about certain things. You wish for another system, or that capitalism is developing itself into something different. And
I wouldn't say wish, but hope, maybe.
Yeah, but I think we actually have the tools already to do that if we ask the right questions. And we have that technology because it's a technology question in the end. At the end, like for example, if you think about money as a technology,
Mhm.
it's a medium of exchange.
It is a technology. Yeah.
It's a medium of exchange. It's one thing. It's a storage of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not inflated, otherwise it's not a good storage of wealth.
No.
So this is why money is not a storage of wealth anymore,
Mhm.
because it gets inflated away.
Yeah.
And certain currencies get inflated away faster than other currencies. Even gold has a 2% inflation rate,
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
which this is where the idea comes from the central banks that 2% inflation is a good thing. Because the most valuable thing in the world was inflated by 2%.
Mm.
But now we have technologies which have 0%, which are actually deflationary. And I'm talking about blockchain, decentralized blockchain
Yeah.
currencies, blockchain currencies. And it's about a protocol. It's about decentralization. It's about who has power and so on. It's all in there. It's like a genius technology which could fix problems we deal with today and which deals with, so every system, I think every system, every group of people, every institution over time has the problem of getting corrupted. And it is just because of of being human. It's just that. It's not, you will never,
It'll never stop.
it will never stop. So you need a technology that stops that. Which technology could do it? And how can you do it? You can do it over decentralization and a certain protocol, which is only changing when the whole group of people who are in the system decide to change it.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot just get power by having good arguments or something. And over time, that's the problem with corruption in institutions and in groups. Over time, somebody gets more and more power because he has his skills or whatever.
Good orator.
Yeah, and at a certain time, he has more leverage and you cannot do anything about it. This cannot happen in these decentralized systems. And what you could do, certain things that are very important, that they are not corrupted, you could deal with over decentralized blockchain smart contracts, which means these are contracts you cannot change, even though you are the most powerful person in the world, because it's the most democratic system there is.
Mm.
It cannot be corrupted. It's like a win-win-win-win-win situation for everybody who's part of it. And most people don't see it from this perspective now.
Because what you're saying, because blockchain has like myriad users and what is the word? Checkpoints, basically. That's how it works, right? In the same way that you like mine for Bitcoin, there's all of these different computers that are all sort of policing each other.
Right.
Is that how you're doing that?
I mean, I really have a hard, it's such a complex system that I myself have a hard time to explain it completely, but there is people outside, you can Google it, who explain it to you in 1 hour and you understand it, even though to grasp it actually, it takes a long time because it's so different, it's so new that it takes a while where it's like, but if you dig it, it's like, boom.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? We have that? And, there is answers out there to problems we have, but obviously there is incentives to not look at answers, but to play the game we are currently playing. Because, like I said, no politician, nobody has the incentive to actually change to a gold standard again, to go to hard money again, because if you do that, you strip yourself from power again.
Yeah.
And you have an actual democracy.
Yeah.
And there will be problems as well, but it's a certain step in the right direction. And for example, you don't have gatekeepers. For example, why do I need to have a lawyer to sell you a house? I don't need that in smart contract situations anymore. We make a smart contract and you just can't change the contract. There is no notary necessary.
Yeah.
There is also no bank necessary. I mean, imagine you keep your own stuff. There's no bank necessary, which can just shut down your bank account if you say something wrong. I mean, this shit happens in China. And nobody likes that who is in church, and this is why they make their own digital currencies now.
Yeah.
So you cannot go out of the system into your own system, like in your decentralized system.
Yeah.
They want a highly centralized system to shut you down, even if you try, only if you try to. I mean, there's things like in China where you want to buy, like, let's say you are a lawyer for human rights,
Uh-huh.
and maybe you have a client which is not really liked by the party. What could happen to you is that all of a sudden you cannot shop groceries anymore in your supermarket. You just can't pay because it's digital currency. It's digital currency by the state. They can just shut you down. Or you want to buy a ticket for a flight. You can't. So it's like slavery. It's 101 slavery. If money is completely in power and every transaction is in power of a group,
Mm-hmm.
everybody else who is using is and is dependent on it is the slave of the people who are controlling it. This is why digital, how do you say that in countries, CBDCs?
What does that mean?
CBDC does mean central bank digital currency.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is why, but we have answers which are the complete opposite, where money gets back to the people, to the most democratic system we ever imagined, and it's like magic when you really dive deep into this topic. It's like magic because you think could be the solution to so many problems which they tell us are not solvable only with them, maybe, or if you have a war, or if we have that. And you know what? If you cannot inflate your currency, you cannot have war.
Yeah.
So you know why the Roman Empire went down? Because they couldn't fucking pay their. I mean, it's a systemic problem too, because it went too big. Every system that gets too big gets too expensive to afford it.
Yeah.
But they couldn't pay their soldiers anymore because the money was inflated so much that they wouldn't take the money to fight.
Yeah.
And like inflation means war. Like because then you can afford a war you could not afford.
Yeah.
And on every side.
Yeah.
On every fucking side. War would be too expensive. And it's just like weak money is the worst thing that can happen to every civilization out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you need hard money.
Yeah.
And there's theories like modern money theory and stuff. These are people who say they make science, who try to explain everybody why it's fine to just have monopoly money. And every politician, everybody in power says, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. But it's just bullshit. It's just fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That was my rant. I don't know if we should go back to me, or do you want to go into that deeper? I don't know.
The only thing that I worry about with what you're talking about is that decentralization could lead to detachment from the reality or the current needs in systems that are decentralized, like, well, to be honest, Germany in some sense, but also the US. I mean, America should have changed its constitution 100 years ago. We should have just redrafted. A lot of European countries have done that. A lot of Western countries or economic North countries or whatever you want to call them have had multiple constitutions because they've realized that you have to adapt the structure of political life to the times, and that something that was written with the best of intentions 200 years ago, where rules were different 250 years ago or 25 or whatever it is, 1779. With the best of intentions was relevant to the mores, as in the practices and the morals and the ethics of that time. But it doesn't apply now, because back then it would have been abso-fucking-lutely unthinkable that any fuckwit with orange hair and face decided to make themselves king, because America had just severed itself from a king. We didn't want royalty anywhere near us. But now we've got a dude who's like, oh, I'm going to be king again, basically. And who's making the political plays to essentially do that. But so that is the only thing where I'm weary of decentralized systems. And also because if it's a decentralized system that's based on a technology, then that could be very easily, like if that technology and this might be also a lack of understanding on my part on how this works, but if that technology somehow fails and all of the computers that are sustaining the blockchain or whatever are hacked or crash or something like that, or we suddenly have an all-out nuclear war that kills all those, or, wipes out all those computers, then the whole system is gone. And then that crashes. And because it's not based in like a physical, on a physical resource like the gold was. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I possibly don't understand it, but it's one of the sort of pitfalls or things that I worry about with blockchain and giving power to tech moguls.
This is the point. This
Yeah.
is the point. It's so new that you, from your perspective right now,
Yeah.
you probably can't grasp that there will be no tech moguls because it's not a company.
Yeah.
It's a system with a protocol, which everybody who is part of the protocol decides what the protocol is, because there's voting mechanisms inside the system.
Okay.
So if the system, and it happened before, for example, in Bitcoin, that they changed the protocol because it was time to change it, but everybody has to agree to change the protocol.
Okay.
And it must be a win-win protocol situation. Otherwise, people won't do it because it's pure democracy and there's no leader. So, which means there is no institution, there is no leader, there is nobody who can be corrupted. There is not a tech mogul who is doing that, who is deciding that. It's complete. It's like we making a protocol saying, okay, this is how it works, blah, blah, blah. Like, for example, 21 million Bitcoin, we are making this decision. And then other people come in and they say, okay, it's a good decision. They have the same right as we do.
Okay.
And it's a win-win-win. No, the incentives are so perfectly oriented in the system that there is no bad actors inside the system, only outside the system who felt like, for example, people who want weak money to inflate money, they don't like the system because these people get their power taken away.
Yeah.
But if you are inside the system, all incentives are that this system win, and there is no real competition inside the system. And at the same time, it is bound to reality because you need to do mining, which is with electricity, and electricity is the purest form of effort, of economic effort. Like, all civilizations were striving on energy. Like, the more an economics were driving, or civilizations were growing, their energy consumption got bigger. There is no, it's like a physical law. Like everybody who tells you it's fucking bullshit to have less energy. If you want to live in the medievals, let's have less energy. Let's do that. But if you want to have a better life, we need more energy.
But there was
clean, but
there was still energy being used in the medieval era. It was just human labor.
But I talk from nowadays standpoint, like, oh, we have to save energy and so on, and there is a point to it to have clean energy, but you want more energy if you want to have a civilization
and your TV and your all that stuff.
Not just that, just to do simple things, just for production, just to grow food, you need energy. You need all kinds of energy. To produce fertilizers, it's like everything needs energy, and the living standards of people got always better. It's empirical proof that they got better the more energy could be produced and used in a civilization.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go back to the US, or at least right now you cannot afford it. Actually, it's just too fucking expensive. The whole
put it this way. If you have a salary, I know people, I have friends who have like a salary of around, or make through their personal, like self-employed work or whatever, around $100,000 a year. That is insane money in Europe. If you made 100,000 euros, you would be freaking dick slapping society. You know what I mean? You'd be great. You'd be having the best time. In the US, you're surviving. Like, I mean that. You are just barely cutting it. If you're not making, my friend that I'm doing this tour with, Sean, was telling me that he knew someone, I'm pretty sure that this is correct, this is what I recall, that was paying something like $4,000 in rent.
Wow.
And not in anywhere big, fancy. It was like, well, I think it was Baltimore, which is, it's a big city. It's not a nice city. No one describes Baltimore as nice. It's a cool city. It's a gritty city, but it's not a safe or a nice city to live in most ways. But yeah, that kind of money, like if that's what you're paying a month in rent,
Yeah.
that's then you're sick for a week. There's no sick pay in the US and stuff like that. You're sick for a week, and that's just like,
You're homeless.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or you're, you have to starve yourself and just hope that you can still work 12 hours a day and travel 2 hours both ways, get enough sleep, and then eat some ramen or whatever, and then just barely make it. You know what I mean?
And the horrible thing is that we are on this path in Europe as well.
Yeah.
We are just we're on a different schedule, and I was living in Argentina, and I saw the outcome of all that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it is because of inflation.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
this is because of inflation.
Yeah.
Maybe, you get more money from your job, but you don't have more buying power
No.
at the end.
I would rather have 10 euros that buy me groceries for a week than 10 euros, than 100 euros that
Right.
buy me groceries for a day.
Right. But do you feel home in Europe?
Again, back to the whole sort of where I'm from and the multicultural thing. I can feel home anywhere, but I think I feel most at home in cultures that are a little more open and outgoing, and in cities, like in urban contexts that are a little wider and a little more open, which is one of my issues with where I'm currently living in the Netherlands. It's not Utrecht is an old city. It's a settlement that was Roman, and before the Romans, it was Saxon. Back then, it was the seafront because the land hadn't been reclaimed yet. So literally, the whole top end of the country didn't even exist. But it's therefore a city that is very narrow. It doesn't have a lot of wide open spaces. There's also not a lot of greenery, and I miss that about Germany. But I also miss that about like Northern America in general. And my partner, who's from New Zealand, New Zealand is also a great example of that. But the issue with New Zealand is, as a creative, as an artist, it's a 48, hour transit, or 48's the max that it'll probably take. It's usually around 32, 35, something like that. It's about 12 hours, then a few hours break, and then another 18 to 21 hours.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of, I guess that does amount to roughly 48 hours. You lose a few days, basically, even if it's just through the jet lag and everything else. But I think I want to be somewhere ultimately in the long term that I can have open space around me, possibly further into the sort of countryside, and just be able to make noise, have the creative freedom to do crazy things, set everything up like we have it here with the lights and stuff, or with my amps and my canvases and whatever and cameras, and just do shit and see what happens.
This is my dream. I mean, this was a part of it was why I went to Argentina. I wanted to raise cattle.
Yeah.
And in Argentina, the first time, I lived in big cities. I lived in Shanghai.
Mm-hmm.
I spent over a month in New
That's
York.
cool. Yeah.
I was studying and working in Shanghai.
Nice.
And it's like, there's bigger cities, but this is a fucking, when you come in with the airplane, it's like 1 hour over, it's just city. You fly 1 hour just over city.
Yeah.
And it's skyscrapers. It's not like small houses. It's like, fucking, and you see, how many people? 46 million? Fuck.
That's a country.
I don't know, maybe 35 million.
That's still a country. That's 3 times the Netherlands.
And so I lived in big cities. I lived in Frankfurt. I lived in Buenos Aires for a while. And in Buenos Aires, I had the same sensation you just described. It's just too narrow. There is no space.
Yeah.
And somehow everything is smaller. Everything is a little bit smaller. Like for not for dwarfs, but for hobbits.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. It's just from another time. It's so nostalgic. I love Buenos Aires. It's a little bit like a mixture of New York, Paris, or maybe Rome and Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mixture, very, very beautiful, but it's so narrow. And I want to go to the countryside as well.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I came here, I have my recording. I go outside. There's fields. I have to have that space. I have to have that nature now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could choose in a place to live, would it be Germany again?
I don't know. I'll tell you when I get there.
Okay.
I think maybe, honestly, it would be New Zealand. If it weren't for how far it was from everything else, I really think it would be New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
The Kiwis are some of the most beautiful, kind, open, friendly people that I've ever met. And my partner's family is now my family, and I didn't have to fight for that or make it a difficult transition. They were just like, yeah, you're one of us now. I was like, fuck yes.
Great.
And it's just a country with a lot of, it's the population is growing and their like international profile is growing, and that's having some effect. And there's been some changes that are maybe not the same New Zealand that some people will know or remember, but or love even. But the people there are just kind and open and just very relaxed, like insanely. Like, how? No, actually, that's illegal. Stop being this relaxed. Like, we got married, and it was just like a, in the city hall, just a what do you call it? Administrative marriage, I guess, or whatever.
I'm married in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, and literally we walk in, and it was like, so what do we need to do? And they were like, oh, yeah, just show up, bae. And I was like, no. And I was like, you don't want like my birth certificate, like my proof that I'm not married anywhere else, like my criminal records, like some country, like I'm pretty sure the Netherlands actually wanted like criminal record or some weird, like a certification that you're not, wanted in other countries or something. And they were like, nah, just bring 2 witnesses. And I was like, this is a joke. And I was like, and what's it going to cost? And they were like, oh yeah, $50.
No.
And that's like 25 euros. And that's it. Like in the Netherlands, again, you're probably paying 200-300 euros to get married. Yeah. And it was amazing. And it was super easy. And the lady was beautiful and lovely. And it was a complete like last minute thing. We were like, fuck it, let's just do it here then.
Awesome.
And yeah, we just phoned my mom so that she could be a part of it. And then used or asked, it's a bit of a harsh word, asked my, well, let's see, nephew-in-law, my partner's nephew, and her mother if they would be our witnesses.
Oh.
And yeah, that was it. And then we went to the park, popped a bottle of champagne, had some cake, and it was great.
Did this marriage change the way you do art? Did it change you in the way in your output you have, the creative output? Is it different since you are married?
I think everything in your life changes. Like anything that happens in your life changes some way in which you interact with your art. I don't know what it changes. I don't know that I could even tell that. I would probably just have to see like younger me, like transpose myself into younger me to know. But yeah, definitely. I just can't tell you how.
But maybe you can give me a sound of it. Maybe you can show me a bit. Maybe you can. You brought your guitar.
Oh yeah, I did. Yes. I was like,
you-
what does he mean? Oh, that's right. I have my guitar with me. Yeah. Yeah, sure. So when I met my partner Elizabeth, I'm gonna do this actually, and when I met my partner Elizabeth, I was doing like kind of, I guess, more like traditional bluesy stuff. but I don't think that the change that happened was specifically down to just her, but she was instrumental in the sense that I have felt more seen and more safe and more loved than I have in a long time with being with her. She's just a cool fucking person. And I love you, Elizabeth. Yeah, she's just a fucking badass. And she's also a photographer, and she does most of the photography for me. And she's been on this mission with me for the past 3 years. I quit the job that I had, and I started just doing music pretty much full time. And yeah, it's been an uphill, long, slow, but very, very rewarding battle. So
Yeah.
like when I met her, I was doing stuff like kind of a combination of old classics and sort of my take on them. So like, wait, let's check if it's tuned. I said you gotta walk that lonesome valley. Lord, you gotta walk it for yourself. Ain't nobody else can walk it for you. Lord, you gotta walk that valley for yourself. You know, so that kind of, or, you know, more well-known maybe is like, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna shoot you right down, right off of your feet. Take you home with me. Take you home with me, girl. Boom, 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 boom. Gonna take you home with me. I'll drag you by the hair. I'll pull off that underwear. I said a boom, boom, boom. Yeah, yeah. Sugar boom, boom. So those are all like more classic.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you. And then,
Amazing. I love it.
then so like, then I started writing stuff that was maybe a little more, I guess modern. I don't know. See my house, see my garden. I ain't no man with money. Hear my words, paint you a picture, Lord. Lord, 'cause I ain't got no money. Look at me work, feel my strength, Lord, 'cause I ain't got no money. A worn out face, too tired to see, Lord, 'cause I ain't got no money. No, 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 no. No, no, it don't matter though. No, 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 no. Ooh, I ain't here for your
why do I hear so, in this last song, is
Yeah.
it a Black Keys song?
No, it's one of my own.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was
No,
like,
that's
"This
good. That's
is
good.
And I was like, wait. I'm sorry.
That's fine. No, that's okay.
Okay.
And then now I've changed completely. Now I'm writing stuff that's like, yeah. So now like I've got some songs coming up that are very different. But I think the other thing that I want to say before I forget to say this is that the one thing that my partner did for me that I think I needed was she helped me to actually find the courage to publish my music and to take the opportunities that I've been being given and to stop self-fucking sabotaging as the artist that many artists are, which is I don't believe that my art is good enough to be seen and deserve its place within the, catalog of artists that exist on public and social media platforms and streaming sites and stuff like that.
That's so beautiful, because I think this is what a relationship should be about. It should be supportive, not limiting. And I see so many, and including my own relationships, they were limiting and not supportive. It was not widening. My horizon did not widen.
Yeah.
It was the opposite. And it's not just my partners did it to me, I did it to my partners as well. And it's so beautiful that you say that, because getting that courage by somebody else, feeling okay with what you do, feeling love with what one does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so important. It's like there's even a little bit of parenting inside of it. You get this trust in yourself because your partner trusts in you, and it's so beautiful. And I think this is what it really should be about. And I'm happy you found it, and I'm so happy that you do that, because it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's really amazing.
Yeah, but I think it's an eternal. I don't want to say struggle, because it's not difficult, but it's an eternal effort.
Yeah.
It's an eternal pursuit. That's a great word for it. I want to always improve our relationship, and I want to always have open and direct conversations with her. I want to cry openly in front of her and tell her how I'm feeling, and have the honesty to say when I'm feeling things that I may be afraid to tell her.
Yeah.
When I'm angry at her, or when I've done something stupid,
I mean, that's what I mean. To do that, you need that trust.
Yet
There's only a few people in the world, I guess, for everybody, who can give you the security that you can trust them with opening that much. And you found this person, which is beautiful.
I don't know. I think it's something that you build as well. I think if you give it, then you'll receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds very spiritual of me again, but that's like physical. There's also part of the studies I did. There were some studies done on people being nice and how important being nice is, because it's an exponential kindness. If you're kind to one person, that person is kind to another person, and maybe two people, and those two people are kind to four people, and those four people are kind to 8 people, or whatever. And by the time you're done, that one letting the lady go in front of you through the door, helping the kid up after it fell off the bicycle or something like that, is exponentially good.
But what I truly believe in the same thing you just said, and it's part of what I want to do here. I want to give something out there that I think is helpful. And I think it only works when you're honest. It doesn't work if you fake it. It doesn't work if you beat around the bush.
Yeah.
But it's only working when you're honest. And when you're honestly kind to somebody, then it's duplicating. And this is something that what I try to do here as well. Like, I want to but give something out into the world. But then maybe it's the first domino to something, whatever that is. It's not in my control. And that is, for me, a spiritual thing, like a spiritual purpose. And there is also karma in it, right? Like, there is these principles again in it. Yeah.
I'm just a little averse to the word
Yeah.
spiritual.
I know.
So I like it's a philosophy for me. I'm
Yeah.
comfortable. I like calling it a philosophy because it's very much rooted in logic and in honesty. And I think that to love knowledge, to be a philosopher, you have to be honest with yourself,
Yeah.
question yourself deeply and very seriously at all times.
Yeah.
But you also have to know what's inside you and have that honesty in return to answer yourself.
Yeah.
And then I started writing. I'm doing this one for you because you said you lived in Argentina, and I wrote this with some Argentinian friends.
Por los hombres y las mujeres arrinconados que han perdido la razón, por todos los niños sin padres les canto mi canción. Por los hombres y las mujeres arrinconados sin chicos que cuidar, por todos los niños sin padres les canto mi vida. Oh, hay esperanza, si la buscas la encontrarás. No existe la vergüenza, solo existe la verdad. Oh, hay esperanza, si la buscas la encontrarás. No existe la vergüenza, porque sin fallar no aprenderá. El mundo parece a veces lúgubre y en todo lado ves el mal, pero yo soy aquí para decirte, aún hay flores en mares de sal. Cuando miras al cielo en la noche, recuerda esta voz y piensa con todas sus fuerzas a mis palabras en esta canción. Oh, hay esperanza, si la buscas la encontrarás. No existe la vergüenza, solo existe la verdad. Oh, hay esperanza, si la buscas la encontrarás. No existe la vergüenza, solo existe la verdad. La verdad, solo existe la verdad, solo existe la verdad. Solo existe la verdad.
So, but in any case, I have moved across genres, and yeah, I'm writing very different stuff now because I have a partner who's just there and telling me what I'm doing is good and believing in me. And like now I have that impetus and I'm more confidence in my art to actually go out and do it and be who I was the whole time, but afraid to show it.
Yeah. I love your music.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you want to tell me where
Yeah.
people can hear it?
Yes, of course. You can find my music on Spotify, as most people are. But you can do one better, and you can subscribe to my mailing list.
Oh yeah.
Because even though I really suck at mailing lists, at some point I think we may lose Instagram the same way we lost MySpace, or TikTok the same way we lost MySpace, and I don't want to go the way of the buffalo.
I think it's interesting that you say that, because I feel the same way. I feel that Instagram is becoming the Facebook
Yes,
of our generation. Like, it's
yeah,
like
it is.
changing. Like, nobody really interacts anymore. Nobody really.
Yeah,
TikTok also has a lot of. I mean, I never used TikTok until I started the podcast,
yeah.
and I don't get it. I don't dig it. I don't use it myself. So it's
It's annoying. Yeah,
it's hard to get into it when you don't really want to use it.
yeah.
So what's left? Maybe just focusing on YouTube, just focusing on what are you doing then? You have a mailing list.
I have a mailing list. Also, yes, subscribe to my YouTube. But also, I'm just a big fan of people actually helping me by writing DMs and offering me show opportunities.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, I can't travel to Argentina for 150 euros and a slap on the butt. But if there's 5 shows that are 150 euros and a slap on the butt, then that's a very sore butt, and B, that's close to 1,000 euros. I don't know. I'm what 5 times? No, that's like 750 euros or 800 euros or something like that.
The flights are fucking expensive to
Yes.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
insanely expensive.
But the principle holds. If you have 10 or 20 dates in an area or in a region, even if some of them don't all pay great, and people help you organize them in a sort of grassroots way, like the people I hang out with in the sort of folk punk, and I like to call it generally fringe Americana. That's the genre that I concern myself with. You could call it Gothic Americana as well, but that is not always quite true, because not all my songs are like slow and miserable.
Yeah.
And Gothic sort of implies that. It's not exactly true, but I definitely style myself as Gothic or fringe Americana, and physically as well as song-wise, and I hearken back to my early influences in music. But find me on Bandcamp and buy my CD on Bandcamp digitally. You can buy the songs and download them, and that is also very helpful. Or you can buy my merch at shows, and you can also order it on.
You can tell it to me later, and I will put it down. And
Yes, cool. It's on my website, but I do not remember the exact link. It's CreatorSpring/Fantastic or something like that.
yeah. What is the most important for you to have an income as an artist today? Like, is it the performances, the live performances, or is there, like, we talked about it a bit at the beginning, but
It's live performances. It's actually the performance rights from live performances, like GEMA.
oh really?
That's the best way to make.
Oh, I didn't know
solid
that. I
money.
thought it's just like a fraud.
No, I am making more money than I've made in a long time since I got someone who helps me as my publisher to
Really?
make sure that I get all the payments for all the shows. That is more money than I have ever seen the color of.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And
I
I
didn't-
mean, I'm not talking like millions here. I'm like talking in the thousands, but that's still, when you're an artist that is struggling and, like living paycheck to paycheck and relying on their partner, thank you, my love, for rent and, bills. When you pay them, you can, because you want to be contributing to the household, but getting performance right checks is like the best thing that happens to you.
Mm.
And then shortly after that, very close in tow, is getting your songs placed on TV shows or films or advertisements or on the radio or something like that, because that pays in royalties as well as upfront usually.
Yeah.
So usually, depending on the deal you have, it's either a large amount upfront. Depending on how well you're known, a large amount could be a few hundred, or it could be several tens of thousands, or probably more. I'm looking at the Beyoncés and the Lady Gagas of this world and the Taylor Swifts. But then there's also frequently like royalties from the song physically being played on the radio afterwards.
I was just wondering if Instagram is dying and if TikTok is not the thing anymore, what could come next? And I was like, maybe it's OnlyFans. maybe it's OnlyFans. Maybe OnlyFans gets like a marketing advertisement.
A rebrand.
Yeah, like it's getting part of it. Like everybody's just watching OnlyFans.
Yeah.
To scrolling, in the break or something.
Yes.
OnlyFans, but then you have McDonald's or something on it. Like it's implemented.
Really?
Maybe it's the next thing.
Oh, I thought you were saying now there's like ads on OnlyFans.
Oh no!
I mean,
maybe this is the new path.
there's Patreon. Patreon is very similar. Actually, I have a Patreon. Go and give me money on Patreon. Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting a Patreon.
But Patreon sort of requires that you do maybe more work than a performing touring artist has time for.
But is it not with all social media? I feel like the main work I do now is just to put out a couple of
Content. Yeah.
It's
Well, that's
sad. It's
I've been-
so annoying.
I've been writing a lot of songs about that too. One of them is called I Quit.
I saw a reel of you where you said, okay, I'm just doing only content creation now, fuck all that other stuff. And it sounded kind of there is some depression in what you're doing because of you need to be a social media manager at the same time you actually just want to do art and it's all just a mess. And it's the same with me. I want to have these great conversations, but but then there is this other stuff which is so huge. It's so huge and it's not fun and it's just like to let people know that you have conversations.
To let people know that you exist.
Right. And it's so hard because everybody wants to be known as an existing entity. So like everybody wants to be known. So you compete with all that. And it's very hard to find a niche.
Yeah.
But what are you doing when you I mean, your main income source is performance and you do so many performances.
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay healthy and how do you you said you need to be weird to actually do performances and then you need to be like resilient actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to be very resilient to do that many shows.
That's part of the weirdness though.
Yeah.
To be honest, a whole lot of drugs. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Sorry. No. Please have me back. I'm sorry. No, it's just like maintenance, like talking about fuel and the cars and the thing coming back on that in the sense like putting the right fuel in your machine, which is, this fucker here. Just, eating vegetables, like so many venues when you're touring are like, here, have a burger. I'm like, fuck your burger.
Yeah.
Give me a salad. I want some quinoa up in this bitch. I want some fucking acai berries or like, some spinach would be great. Thank you.
Vitamins.
Yeah. And also fibers, because as much fibers as meat might have, I think vegetables generally beats meat. Certainly in terms of the range of things that it brings to your diet. Like you can get the vitamins and the fibers and all the other stuff with a salad, and a burger's going to give you iron and fiber, and that's kind of it.
I think, did we talk about the creatine? And
We did.
Okay. I just wanted to go down this rabbit hole again. That you're traveling with protein powder and creatine, but what else are you doing to stay like in shape? Are you doing some meditating, some yoga?
I do stretches.
Sleep routine or something?
Nah, I'm not. I'm an artist. We're not very good at routines. That we're not known for being routine people, generally speaking. Certainly not performing artists. I try, and I'm happy when I can sort of stick to it. But it's being a performing artist and being an artist, I think in general, is also about spontaneity and about being able to know an opportunity when you see one and take it.
Oh yeah.
And or know what to do with that opportunity in the first place. Know how to recognize it, know what to do with it, and then take it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the order.
Riding the wave a little bit, right?
Yes.
Recognizing the wave and then being skilled enough to take it.
And then riding it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think I'm happy when I can stick to a routine. Generally, I try to stretch a few times a week. Honestly, it's probably more like a few times a month. Certainly when I'm touring or playing gigs further abroad. But I stretch pretty regularly, and then more recently I've started doing more workout type stuff. just like calisthenics, like push-ups, sit-ups. Well, not sit-ups because what do you call the leg raises over a kettlebell type deal? I don't know what they're called.
I don't know.
Yeah,
either, like,
it's supposed to be better for your abs. And then like trying to just sort of, I mean, for any of you who have seen me perform, and if you haven't, you should. You
Okay.
bunch of fucks.
you should definitely do that because it's insane. I mean, you get a glimpse on Instagram or on where you can see videos,
Yeah.
but it's insane.
It's CrossFit. I'm a CrossFit sports person. I just happen to make sound with my mouth and my hands and my feet while I do it. But that's why after every show now I've started legit. I get off stage, I wipe my face off. You get off stage, take all the gear off stage, go backstage really quickly, chuck a bunch of protein powder into a bottle with some water, shake it up, down that as quickly as I can, and what's left I take to the merch stand with me, and I go and speak to people and just do the artist thing, and what can I get you and all of that, but whilst secretly drinking my protein shake. But seriously, like since I've been doing that, I feel so much less shit the day after a performance.
Protein is so important so that your body works.
And but like I've had some people that liked my music and they're physiotherapists, and they've offered to like kind of give me a once over, just like do some work on me, and they were like, the reason that your body is struggling is because you are overexerting like fuck. Because when you're performing, it's not just the physical thing, it's also the adrenaline and it's endurance. And you're not even realizing how hard you're driving your body because you're so in the moment. You're having such a good time with the energy that if you are having a good time, the energy that you're getting from the people is just so powerful that you completely just lose yourself. And the literal only limitations is like breaking a limb or something like that. And even then, like there's people that have done that and continue. Like Dave Grohl was a good example. He broke a leg and continued playing the solo, and then got wheeled off at the end of the show in Sweden somewhere to a hospital nearby, and they had to re-break his leg because it had started healing.
Yeah.
And that's like the kind of level, because it's not just a physical thing, it's also very much a mental thing. So unless you're taking all of the big stars in the world, they get what you call banana bags.
What is it?
It's like basically a saline solution with other vitamins in it. And after they perform, almost all of them just get a doctor to come and fucking IV them to a saline bag after the performance, because you're sweating like a fountain. You're destroying your muscles, especially if you're a drummer, let alone drummer and singing at the same time, let alone drumming and singing and playing guitar and bass at the same time. Let alone drumming and singing, playing guitar and bass and keyboard at the same time, because that happens to some of us too, including myself. And that's just, you need the vitamins that no amount of food is going to give you that concentration of protein and other helpful nutrients that you can get from just that one shake for those 5 seconds. And then you can keep going and have a normal meal afterwards at some point when you're done with all the craziness of selling merch, packing everything down, taking photos with people, hanging out with other artists that are there, and so on and so forth. So I gotta do it. Like, otherwise I'm definitely not gonna make it past 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it sounds you already take good care of it. I mean, just that you are aware of it. I mean, I guess there's artists out there, they won't get aware of it until they literally die.
Yeah.
Like, because, I don't know, they are not aware of it, or I don't know, they don't want to take care of it. I think in general, we get more conscious about our own health and what we can do ourselves to support our health, and to be not so dependent on doctors in general.
Yeah.
So all the supplement stuff, like, bringing your body into the best shape so you won't get sick instead of fighting the sickness and all this kind of stuff I think we're getting more conscious on a whole.
Yeah.
And, but it sounds you are doing it pretty well. And what is the best frequency for you to have performances right now? Like, what would you say? How many performances a week, or is
Honestly, at one point in time, when I lived in Scotland, in Edinburgh, during the Fringes, I had less gear with me. I had less drums. I only played a kick drum and a foot tambourine and a guitar and sang. Now I play a kick drum and a snare and a hi-hat and a foot tambourine and a guitar through a guitar and a bass amp. So bass and a guitar, basically, because I'm also fingering it like I'm playing bass lines, and then singing. And then sometimes now I've added like other instruments or keys into it. At that point, though, I was doing up to 3 performances a day.
What?
Every day.
What, 3 per day?
3 a day, every day, for a whole month. Now, I was like almost 10 years younger probably by that point.
But you have to go to rehab afterwards.
No, you just have to sit in a dark room for a week and eat chicken soup and red coconut curries.
Wow.
And pho. Yeah, that's, but literally, and soup on the road. More venues need to offer people soup. Like just a tomato soup or a vegetable broth with some noodles and some vegetables in it, like pho style, Vietnamese style stuff, because that is like you're rebuilding yourself and you're getting all the salts that you're missing through that broth, and it's very easily integrated into your body. Like your body just goes, oh, thank you, I needed that.
Yeah, electrolytes is so important. Yeah, like it's also when you just have a little bit too much coffee and you have a little shake.
Yeah,
we can just take a little, really a little spoon or something of salt.
Yeah.
And you put it on your tongue and it's gone immediately.
Yeah.
It's just electrolytes, balances,
yeah,
and so on. So yeah.
I also take a lot of electrolytes during performances.
Yeah, especially because you sweat so much. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, traveling must be hard with so many instruments as well, right? Like it would be easier if you just had the guitar, but you have all this stuff. And what I wanted to tell you, I will make a clip for the venues where you say that we need soup.
Yeah,
maybe it goes.
Please do.
Yeah.
Hey, definitely. If it goes viral, that'd be great, because every artist needs soup.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how nice the kebab around the corner is. Get fucked.
Oh, yesterday I had a good kebab here around the corner.
I mean, kebabs are great.
Yeah.
No shade on the kebabs, but like, bro, give me soup. I'm on tour.
Yeah.
And also, before you play, it's way more difficult to. If you're going to play, it's way worse to have really stodgy, filling, heavy food.
Yeah.
Because you're like sluggish afterwards.
Right.
If you have soup, it's like whoop, and it's kind of just your body goes, all right, okay, this fits. I don't have to do a lot of work.
Great.
I'm not like digesting for hours. My stomach isn't like contracting or anything. Especially if you're drumming or if you're a very active, moving around performer or something like that. Again, let alone playing multiple instruments simultaneously, the easiest thing is just having the sort of liquid nourishment. Like if instead of a soup, it's going to be like some kind of a like super juice or something like that, and also fine. But
are you actually, like, I was wondering, are you sober and clean, or are you because you said the word alcoholic before?
Yeah. No.
Now are you using like stuff to perform, or
no, never. No. Actually, I don't drink when I play. No, I don't. Like maybe I'll have like a shot of whiskey or something like that to like kind of loosen up my vocal cords a little bit. It's counterintuitive, and actually technically every doctor will tell you I'm wrong, but a little bit just kind of sometimes helps if you're feeling a little dry. I eat a lot of ginger for my throat as well, just raw. Just if I can chew ginger.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah. It's great. And it's also great for fibers, and it's also great for your stomach and gut health. But no.
Antibiotic, as far as I know. So.
It is.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I mean, I drink. I never drink in large amounts. Unless I'm partying super hard, and then that's kind of after 3 drinks, I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll have another one, because I'm an idiot. But as I've gotten older, and pretty much after experiencing some, well, basically blackout drunk moments when we knew each other back in Frankfurt, that was the point where I was like, no, okay, my limit is like, and by the way, my limit was something stupid because I had a long line of alcoholics behind me of like a bottle and a half of vodka.
Mm.
That was my blackout limit. And then after that blackout, I was like, all right, okay. Or those few blackouts, I was like, we're gonna slowly.
And it's great that you could do it. I couldn't do it. I could not stop. I couldn't stop.
But
And now it's clear, like there is not even
an in between.
there is no in between. It's like either I'm an alcoholic or I'm sober. And if I'm an alcoholic, I die pretty fast, and I will fuck everything up, and I will fuck everybody up.
Yeah.
So there was no choice.
Right.
And other people have that choice, and it's great too.
I don't have a very addictive personality. My only addiction is performance, music, and performance. Again, theater, cinema, modeling, catwalks, all of this kind of stuff, and composing, creating, pulling these good or bad thoughts out of my head to put them on paper, to do what I always think. I'm pretty sure Mike Shinoda, the DJ and the like producer and rapper of Linkin Park, said this. I'm pretty sure he called it, or he was interviewing someone. But anyway, what I like to call public healing. I'm healing for myself in front of everyone else through these texts that I write, through this music that I write. But it also belongs to everyone else. And if you can identify with it, even if it's not in the way that I intended it, and it helps you to get through something, then fucking preach, sister. Like, keep going. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't write this, I write this selfishly, but I also write this for others, hoping that they can identify with something that I've been through.
I love it. It's the same what I try to do here with another medium. It's what you said, like this healing. I did the last podcast I published was about faith and also Christian faith and also spirituality.
Yeah.
And I talked a lot about my addiction and my alcoholism, and also how I got sober and so on. And it was so intimate. It was so fucking I told, the shit I've done. For, like robbing, stealing, like all this kind of stuff, being violent and so on. I mean, we had some nights where we said hello to the police, if you can remember. I mean, we just said hello, but there was some contact.
There were several times in that point in my life where there were some close encounters of the third
kind.
Yes, exactly.
And I just talked about it, I put it out there. And afterwards, I was so empty. Like, it was so quiet in myself. For a couple of days, there was nothing. I was like, this is weird. And I was at the same time, should I have published it, because it's so intimate? But I feel so, it's like, how do you say that?
Relieved.
It's such a huge relief. It's out there. I don't have to hide. It's out. I don't have to hide anymore. And it's part of the recovery program I'm in. It's step 5. You talk to another person about what you've done. Yeah. It's like what you do in church, in the Catholic Church. How is it called?
A confession.
It's like a confession.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, sure, I was not talking about every night that happened in that podcast, but it was such a relief. And I feel, do you think when you would not be able to do music anymore, I don't know, your tongue is cut out and your fingers are all broken, do you think you could live without, like, do you think you would start drinking and drugging? Do you think you said you have not an addictive personality, but you're having it at the same time, but using the performances for it, because there is this tension span you need, right? You need this. So how do you get it without the music?
I don't know. I would still, again, I write a lot of poetry. There's other forms of performance. I think there can always be, and your creative outlet can be something that, that you think is meaningless, like gardening. Some people are like, oh, I'm not creative. And I'm like, dude, look at your garden. Chill the fuck out. You're an amazing creative person, and good job on the garden, by the way, because that's also a lot of like discipline.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the word. But yeah, like everyone has some sort of an outlet, and maybe sometimes they just don't realize. And if you don't have an outlet, then please find one. Find one, because the amount of difference that having an outlet can make in your life, especially one that's very outwardly expressive of exactly how you feel, is just life-saving.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
All good.